So, Manuel, what's it like to have dementia?
Well, you see, it's actually pretty good. Let me list some of the advantages. There's a couple of them. Well, the first one is whenever you hear a joke, it's always the first time. You get to laugh at it over and over again. It's great. Number two, you get to meet a lot of new people every day. And number three, you always hear the jokes again for the first time. You get to laugh at them over and over again.
Hi, I'm JD.
And I'm Manuel.
You sound like you forgot.
I did. I actually did forget that the dementia's real.
And you're reading the wrong way.
So yes, welcome to Reading the Wrong Way. Are we on episode 10 now? 10? I think it's 10.
I think we're on 11.
I'm glad someone remembers.
No, I think we're on 11. I'm going to look it up.
No, we're on
now.
10. This is episode 10, Manuel.
Yeah,
Apparently Dementia also adds in new memories for you.
Okay, technically this is episode 10. No, technically
yes,
this
it's
is 11.
episode 11 because we have an episode 0.
Zero.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh man, Dementia's a
Manuel,
hell of a drug.
This is the 11th episode, but it's only episode 10 because like a Rage and C++, we start at 0.
Yes. I also have not included
maybe the worse it gets, the more you start inventing new memories, and that's when you start creating things out of thin air. You start bringing dead people back to life.
That sounds kind of fun, though. I can't wait for that part to kick in.
So yes,
it's
your pick this month. What are we reading?
We read Dementia 21 by Shintaro Kago. This was, depending on what version you read, a different number of volumes of just shorts, all semi-connected, non-serialized shorts, all about Yukie Sakai, who is a home help aide for elder care patients it's called GreenNet. Mm-hmm. GreenNet Elder Care. I don't know if it's anything other than just GreenNet. This was fun. I know that we have some thoughts.
God, I don't know.
We all have some thoughts for sure.
Yeah,
come on, it's fun.
Okay, just going off, I think your description from the last episode and the title, I thought this was going to have more of a horror bent, but this is much more of like a gag series with some horror elements in it.
Yeah, I think a lot of Edoguro does kind of lean on satire and comedy as well. It's not purely just like we're not going in like a Junji Ito direction with this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But I did also kind of expect a little more horror than we got. Mm-hmm. I do think Shintaro Kago has a reputation for being both scary and funny. This is the first work of his I think any of us are reading.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've met him, and I actually bought a couple of his books, funny enough, when I did meet him. I'll tell the story at the end, but we actually did interview him in A to J. But I'll tell you about the weirdness of the interview at the very, very end, because it ties into something that the manga has. My understanding about like the differences between Shintaro Kago and Junji Ito is that Junji Ito is very much like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that his work isn't like, anything beyond the surface level, but his work is a lot more just easily approachable, easily consumed, it's very straightforward. But Shintaro Kago, I have always heard, and I don't know if this really fits the bill, like, I'm still have some mixed thoughts, but he's more of the artsy person, like, he doesn't draw cats on the side and whatever. He doesn't draw cats on the side. He's a man of few words, just like draw some crazy shit, and yeah. And apparently he does manga, and this is one of them. It was serialized online.
I can't wait until we get through like a lot more of this show, so we have more horror touchstones than just Junji Ito.
Yeah.
I want to look at Kazuo Uematsu eventually.
Oh yeah,
But no, this was serialized on an online platform. I forget what the hell it's called. Doesn't really matter. This is very important. I want to make sure this is mentioned now, so I don't just jump into it mentioning it later. Each chapter is only 15 pages.
Yeah,
15 pages. They say 16 because it includes the cover, but it's only 15 actual content. Now, I looked it up just to make sure before we started the show. Obviously, like if you just Google it, the AI thing will tell you some bullshit, probably because of Dementia 21. But I looked it up. Every freaking magazine I could find has 18 at the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Bare minimum. And I feel like that's just when the artist forgets to draw the last 2 or 4 pages. But most of them start at 20.
I have like mixed thoughts on it because I like how short a lot of these are, but there are some that I think could have used that extra couple pages.
Yeah.
There are also some that could have used less pages.
Mm-hmm.
And
some
I think
that could have just not been written at all.
Well, yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, strict adherence to page count is not really conducive to like good storytelling.
I mean, that's in general. That's any. Well, I
Yeah,
know it's like
that was
non-serialized, as in it doesn't connect from one to the other, but it's still a serialized work in terms of like.
and it is
There's a
sort
there's
of
a
also
deadline,
a
this many
serialized
pages.
story
Mhm.
if you squint.
Sort of.
Yeah, if you squint,
And then you don't have to
take some
squint anymore
drugs in the
when
middle
you
and
get to the
forget what
end.
happens.
You forget that Yukiya.
Yukie.
I was right. If you forget that Yukiya dies like several times in the volume.
Hey, there's an explanation for
Well,
that.
the world ends several times too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the world does. I'm like, and then it's funny because sometimes not to jump ahead too far, but sometimes the world ends, and the thing that caused the world ending is still in the world later on. I'm like, wait, I thought that ended the world, and that's still happening.
And that kind of stuff is because this is a comedy series. This isn't like a serialized story. We're not dealing with canon, which is kind of a lot of nerds' worst nightmare, is that you can't like conclusively put everything that happens in this into a wiki and make a timeline out of it. Which I love, but a few times like, oh, really? But I'm into it for the most part. I have some problems here and there, and we'll get to them. But I think because there are a billion chapters of this, the best thing to do is we should just go through each chapter really quick, off the dome, like 3 to 5 sentence summary of each chapter, and we'll take turns in whatever order we go in. I'm sure it'll be, we didn't practice this, and it's going to go great.
Yeah. You can start the first one, B, then I guess.
Yeah. So, okay, our first one. And also, let's be strict about the sentence count.
Yeah.
Okay, how do we start? Yukie Sakai is a home help aide for elder care patients at GreenNet. Elder Care Association. I don't actually know the full name of what it's called. I feel like they say it at some point. GreenNet Elder Care LLC Association.com.
And Knuckles. But yeah, go on.
And Knuckles. She's very good at her job. She's popular with the patients, and she's first place constantly in the rankings of healthcare aides, which is that a real thing? I don't know.
Well, it is.
Fine.
It is in real life. Like you could hire a nurse, like a private nurse. I don't know if like Japan. Usually, it's not private. I guess you could still hire a private nurse, but like usually, it's like not. What's the word? Like medically appointed. Like I remember, like my grandfather, he got sick one time, and like he had to have a nurse come visit him for a few weeks. Like I guess it's usually when the hospital's like, well, I guess it's really expensive to keep you here. Let's just send you home and send a nurse every so often.
Outpatient care.
That's the word I'm looking for.
I was talking more about that. I think it's hilarious and also horrible to imagine coming into work and there's a leaderboard.
Oh yeah, what is that? Is this fucking like DoorDash or
not
something?
Not
like,
about the. Obviously, help aid for elder care. Of course, that's real. But the leaderboard system.
Oh yeah, it feels weird. But yeah.
Anyway, that was definitely 2 sentences.
Last sentence. Yeah, last sentence.
Oh man, wait, no, I said 5. 3 to 5.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay.
You said 3 to 5.
You get 2 more sentences then.
Yeah. No, that was 2. Shut up.
I just want to move on. I'm just kidding. This chapter is actually pretty good.
This is the only one that matters. This is the only chapter that matters.
Exactly.
Extremely in an extremely jealous second place is Ayase, who we never see again, who's sleeping with the boss and who requests that the boss do something about Yukie's high scores. The boss, who is never named, agrees to forge complaints to lower Yukie's score and raise Ayase's. Actually, I guess he doesn't agree to raise her. Whatever. Oh, man. In order to redeem herself, Yukie is sent to various problem patients. Oh, I just realized this isn't just... there's a whole story that happens in this one.
Yes.
Yukie is sent to problem patients such as 85-year-old Eiko Koike. Everyone sent to her house dies in a freak accident. Oh, this is a great idea. Parentheses, which turns out to be the effect of Miss Koike herself killing them in a jealous rage because One of them once gave her husband a heart attack. End parentheses. Ellipses. Yuki promises to give. Oh man, wait. No, she's having a heart attack. Okay, look, this is fine. Sentence number 6. She's having a heart attack, and Yuki promises to give her heart medicine in exchange for a high score. What we set up here is Yuki is going to be sent to a lot of horrible patients.
Yeah.
And she's going to do her best to get high scores. And I feel like it's easy to forget that that's what this is all about. Later on, when you get further into the story, that she is just really trying to get a good score on the leaderboard.
Yeah, some of them barely even deal with that. It kind of drops.
Yeah, I guess that's fair, because like the first chapter did also have the introduction, so I guess we'll be able to do 3 to 5 sentences from here on, I think.
Yeah. That one could have been, but I didn't plan it. But it's also funnier that it's not planned, so. Do we have anything else to say about the first one?
Oh, it's a good start.
Yeah.
I actually had high hopes for this whole series from that first beginning.
Yeah, same.
My favorite part, and I have it in my notes, she calls the bitch a bitch at the end. And by the I didn't realize she had a name. The second, I don't know if she was second, but the bad employee.
I say it's important to note she's not even bad. She's second place.
It's funny because like I don't want to jump ahead too far, but we don't see these characters. We don't see the Green Home people.
Green Net.
Green Net. Yeah, not Green Home. We don't see the Green Net people until way at the end. I almost forgot they existed.
They show up every now and then, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they show up when like the boss gives her a paper and then she just like goes like for literally a frame. But I mean, like we don't see like the other nurses or whatever.
We never see ISA ever again.
Oh yeah, ever.
I believe.
And we never saw her again.
Even at the end when somebody else is in second place.
Yeah, I was saying, like we do see a second place rival again, but it's not her.
And another one was about to get married to the boss.
Yeah, it's like they just divided her to 2 different characters and never explained it. Well, that's a sentence we can skip when we get to that chapter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, chapter 2, I'm still have high hopes for here. Chapter 2, she gets assigned to 3 patients, Ransu and Miki, who are clearly a reference to the 1970s idol group named Candies. And the idea here is that she's going to overwork herself, that like she's going to be like so overworked, her score's going to have to go down because she's not going to be able to deliver the right care. But she managed to do fine. She actually does perfectly. Like she just like works her ass off. Next day, there's 3 more. Next day, there's 3 more again. Next day, this is comma, by the way. This is still sentence number 3. Next day, there's more. Next day, there's more. Next day, there's more. It turns out that local people have been dumping their old people into the house just to get rid of them. And it culminates at the end where it's funny because there's a Clive Barker story that ends this exact same. I mean, there's a Clive Barker story that involves very similar plot thing. But at the end, the old people realize they've all been dumped by their families, how ungrateful they are. They turn into a big old person and stumble away.
Old person.
A golem, or was it Legion from Castlevania? That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah. So, and that was my 5th sentence. But my favorite thing at the end is when she's like, "No, I forgot to have them rate me."
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. Like I still like this one. We're still on good trajectory.
Yeah, this one was good. This one's fun. It's obvious here that like what's his name, Shintaro Kago has shut up. Has like one big theme in mind for the whole series, and he's really sticking to it. There's a lot of old people in Japan. That's it.
Okay.
And they don't know what to do with them or how to treat them sometimes.
When we get to the chapter break, I have a thing to say about it because he does talk about he doesn't talk about that's the whole thing. He doesn't talk. He has a sly reference to like politics and worldviews in the interview at the end of the first volume. And when we have a little break in the whole volume, I'm going to talk about what I think Shintaro Kago might be going for some of these things. And it's not a long thing.
His thing is that he doesn't want to talk about it. He wants to let the art do the talking.
And but there's some moments where I'm like,
very loudly.
He wants old people to turn to a big old person. But anyway,
well, maybe they should try it.
Yeah, see,
have they tried?
See if they like it. Yeah, see if they like it.
Okay, chapter 3. Patient of the week, Setsuko has psychic powers that allow her to destroy things that she forgets, and she has dementia. So that's a lot. Things that go or that she causes to disappear include tires, rails, toupees, fake tits, lying about your age, and virgins.
I forgot about the fake tits. That was funny because they like blew up on her chest. I was like, poof.
Thankfully, her family has enrolled her in a test medical treatment that allows her to start recovering gray matter and start remembering things. The downside, she remembers things all too quickly and they start reconstructing together.
See, JD can do it. Why can't we? that was the whole chapter. This one's also pretty good still. Like we're still in decent A rank material here. A lot of the celebrities at one point it's like it only works on people she knows, right? Like not on and then she starts like watching TV and she forgets politicians and like famous people and they start exploding too.
Yeah, this one's really fun.
A lot of the famous people are real people also. So yeah, I thought that was worth noting. Like that lady, the old lady with like the big hair, I don't know what you call that kind of hairdo. She's a very famous TV host, like going all the way back from like the 70s. She's still on TV. So yeah. I like that they exploded. This felt like you guys ever see that Twilight Zone episode where the kid sends people to the cornfields?
Yeah, it's a good life.
Yeah, it reminded me vaguely of that. Obviously, there's a whole different premise, but like it just reminded me vaguely of that, except that she doesn't know what she's doing. And what it reminds me of specifically is I remember like somebody was doing a deep dive on it because I think I mentioned this in some other thing we talked about. I forgot where the fuck I brought this up on a random thing where there's a sequel in a later Twilight Zone series.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody was doing a retrospective of that on YouTube, and they brought up a good point. Like they want to see the one where they become really old, when they like maybe start like becoming senile, and then they just start fucking up shit because they don't know what they're doing. And part of me wonders if Shintaro Kago had the same idea. It's like this is the good life kid grown up, except it's a woman, and she doesn't.
No, in the sequel, he has a daughter, so this is the daughter all grown up and somehow Japanese.
Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. Something happened. He turned her Japanese or something. Or she turned herself Japanese.
She pulled a sidewalk.
I don't know if her. Yes. Anyway,
this one keeps coming back. Yeah. We'll hear more about. Yeah, and then the other thing, not just Setsuko, but also the idea that there's now a medication that can cure dementia keeps coming back.
Yep.
Because dementia is going to play. I don't know if you could tell, but dementia is going to play a very large role in the series.
Okay,
all right, chapter 4. I wish some of these had names, especially because, like, I guess we didn't really talk about too much, but this was published in 2 separate. Well, it was published originally in 7 volumes?
Yeah.
And now currently is going around in a 2-volume omnibus edition. So I imagine the numbering's going to get kind of wonky as we go on.
Yeah, I actually, fun fact, I don't know where the books I bought from Shintaro Kago are off the top of my head. I didn't sell them. They're somewhere in a box. But I think one of them was one of the Japanese volumes of this. Because there's some pictures, not because one was definitely a manga, but like there were some pages in it that I'm like, I think I recognize some of these, like the big keyframe type things, and I'm like, But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, this was, I don't actually know when this was originally published even, but the new versions are from 2020.
It's in the 20
early 2010s.
It ran sometime in the it's hard to find even any. Yeah, because the tankobons, whatever you call those, the Japanese ones, came out in the mid 2010s, and then the first volume came out in the US in 2017.
Yeah, I think they mentioned like, was it 10,013 or as being like 10,000 years in the future?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, 12,013.
Yeah,
12,013. Yeah. So I assume it was published in like 2012 to 2013.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That sounds about right.
All right, so it's chapter 4.
Okay, so chapter 4.
Kazuo Hasegawa's daughters broke his dentures to harass him, and now they're jealous that he hired Yukie behind their back. Wait, hold on. I realized I wrote daughters. Were these daughters-in-law?
Because daughters.
These are his real daughters, I think. But then again, usually it's the mother.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the only time it's biological daughters. The daughters are spiteful and shallow. They hate their father. They want Yukie to leave as soon as her contract ends. I do think it's funny. They're like, "Oh, contract? We'll leave you alone then." But you better leave when it's up. This is hilariously pertinent. She finds him some AI-powered dentures online.
As you do.
Yeah. Grok, how does this taste?
Yeah, I got you. Gotta love that this came out like a decade before AI became a buzzword. Not to say it wasn't even in the early 2000s, but it's still like this is pretty forward thinking plot point, I think.
Yeah, so after he has his AI powered dentures, which fix his entire life and make him better in every single way, he takes his mouth GPT to all of his individual daughters and somehow convinces them each to not be mad at him anymore. And you're not really sure why, but for some reason they're like, oh, I don't hate you anymore. It turns out that his magic dentures, with their self-repair function, are duplicating and taking over their brains in like an invasion of the Grok. I couldn't think of what's Google AI. What other AIs
Gemini?
are Gemini?
Bard, Claude, pick a name. Someone's probably named it that.
Claude.
For art, or I guess for pictures.
Man. Anyway, the AIs are taking over everybody in this house, and they're crazy, doing the dentures bidding. The dentures want to take over the whole world. He plans to take over Yukie, but then his eyes also turn into teeth, and the teeth grow extra teeth, and the teeth grow extra teeth, and his teeth all the way down till his skin falls off. Paramedics come to take him away and the daughters away, and they also have crazy teeth now.
That the last frame's really cool. That's all I got to say about
Yeah.
yeah.
I really like this one too.
So chapter 5, this is kind of an interesting plot. It's like an Ultraman-esque hero named Redman, which has made me laugh the whole time because I keep thinking about Redman the rapper or something like that. But yeah, he's just old, and that's who Yuki has taken care of this one in a very weird way. And obviously her boss is like, oh, you need to do this all alone. We're short staffed, blah blah blah. So like she has to clean him up with like a big ass hose and like scrub him with like a what do you call that? Like a construction thing.
Oh, caterpillar like claw.
Up. Yeah. She has to like take care of him like that. And eventually he wanders off like old people do, and smashing things up. And it's like, oh no. And then he meets up with some of his old buddies. And by his old buddies, I mean his old enemies. But they're all old. They all start bonding over how old they are. They can't, all the good times they've had. And they just all have like a little fireside chat. And when I say all of them, I mean because multiple villains start showing up. And Yuki comes and starts serving them tea and just taking care of them. Like, oh, this is pretty good. And everyone in the town is like, hey, bro's sitting on my house, dude's like, in my lawn. Like, we need to move him or do something. Get out of here. So she tries to put sleeping potions or whatever, sleeping concoctions in each of their teas. And she kills one of the aliens. And they all start turning on each other because they all think that like, oh, you betrayed me. Oh, I thought you were just lulling me in. And through a series of nonsense, all the aliens end up getting killed. And it kind of turns out, or it's implied, that this was all a government plot to get rid of all the aliens all along. And that's it.
This was a funny chapter. This was the one where if the last like two hadn't given you the idea that this is going to get pretty weird, it was definitely this one that says, okay, this is going to be more of a weird series than a horror series at times.
Yeah, this is very little actual horror in this one.
This is a gore themed comedy. And even the gore is kind of comedic there. Yeah. It comes in at times though. It's like, oh man, this guy can draw some like horrific things and just mostly chooses not to. I don't know how true that is for the rest of his career. I have heard this isn't necessarily the best place to start with him, but it's relatively current and relatively popular and seemed pretty fun. So here we are.
This is the first chapter I noticed, not the first one that got mentioned. It's the first one I noticed, I don't want to say fixation, but the constant references to diapers. And that comes into play way later on. But this is when I noticed it. I started like kind of keeping a tally in my head because I'm like, bro, because he talked like at one point she has to change the red man's diapers, obviously because he's huge. The diapers,
it's one of his culturally recognized old people features. And he has to keep coming back to as many of those as possible.
I feel like I'll just say this now and just cut to the chase because I'll probably forget to bring it up later on. But like Shintaro Kago is known for his art more than his manga, and his art is like very weird and out there.
Yeah.
But one of the things, and I think that they do mention in his biography, one of the things you do see in a lot of his art and you don't see this that publicly because it's not really like not the kind of stuff you share on an Instagram page or anything like that or on Twitter. A lot of his art has scat in it. We'll just look that term, or be careful if you look that term up. But but figure that out on your own. And because I just mentioned diaper scat anyway, I don't want to say he has a fixation on it, but I also don't want to not say that, if you know what I mean. So I don't know. I just thought it was weird that diapers keep getting brought up and things like that. There's a lot of poop humor. There was even a scene in that one with the dentures where one of the ladies was just in the toilet when she was talking to herself. And like when I saw that, I'm like, this is such a Shintaro Kago thing. She did not need to be in the toilet for this scene. So yeah, I just thought I'd point that out there. And there's a lot of other things as it goes on. And I was taking an inner tally, but I just gave up because of reasons we'll start getting to. But yeah.
All right. Chapter 6.
Your turn.
Yes. Apparently, there's a national competition for caregivers' health aides in Japan with monthly qualifiers. And despite apparently being the best at her job, Yukie fails to qualify this year and is scolded by her mother. Turns out her mother was a former caregiver who had to give up her dreams of winning this competition after giving birth to Yukie. So now she's trying to live vicariously through her. To kind of force Yukie to get better at this, she sends her to boot camp, which involves, things like pushing a wheelchair with a 110-pound doll in the shape of an elderly person, doing push-ups and squats while holding that doll, and apparently, training in the jungle, the desert, frozen biomes, all that kind of stuff. Yukie is the only survivor. And because of all this training, she's just laser focused on taking care of people, even people who have not requested it from her. The authorities manage to eventually stop her, and then the U.S. Army takes her and throws her out into a war zone where she takes care of all the enemy combatants, ending war.
Yeah, she achieves world peace, the end. This one's fun. There's not a lot to it, but it feels like thematically and kind of like tonally, it really is. This is what the entire series is about.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is the start. This is the beginning of it where I'm like, this wasn't. I started to feel like that he was losing his touch a bit. Also, I don't want to bring it up because I just brought it up, but like some of the stuff at the end, I feel like it's like how much of this is Shintaro Kago just writing in his own things. But yeah, I was kind of like, I don't know, man. Like it's already losing its magic a little. For some reason, I like the scene where the mom betrayed her. I don't know why. I just thought that made me chuckle a bit. When the mom's like, it's the mom who sent her off to like the boot camp or whatever. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that part kind of like made me chuckle. I don't know why, but that was pretty much it though.
Yeah, I thought this was a really funny chapter. I liked the idea of, here's caregiver boot camp, run like actual boot camp for like being a Navy SEAL.
Yeah, we're gonna see a lot more of this like Full Metal Jacket inspired boot camp type thing for a few different chapters later on. But yeah, this one's pretty good. Chapter 7. Let me actually read through all my notes before I start talking. Okay, new inventions just dropped. Super duper techno nursing home, straight out of Black Mirror. Yeah, this is the one.
Hold on. Are you guys familiar with The Tower? I think that they made a movie about it recently, but like J.G. Ballard's story, The Tower. Like there is no way. High Rise. Thank you. Sorry. High Rise. You're right. High Rise. There is no way that Shintaro Kago didn't just think it didn't like read High Rise. I know it has a different ending, but the whole. Not to jump ahead, but sorry. Go ahead and the whole thing. We'll come back.
No, this is interesting though. I haven't actually read High Rise, but I do like a lot of these stories. I get a lot of J.G. Ballard vibes. So I'm like, I wonder if Shintaro Kago is a fan of like Crash or something too, or High Rise, or whatever else Ballard has written. The Atrocity Exhibition.
Yeah.
Except his obsession, instead of with cars and freeway overpasses, is with old people.
Diapers.
Yeah.
Anyways, go on.
Okay, so we have nursing home, straight out Black Mirror. Old people are stacked in towers like that one episode of Futurama.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just realized how crazy this one gets.
Yeah.
Due to like dumb machine reasons, they claim that an old guy is stuck in one of these really high up. They can't lower the pods, so Yukie has to climb all the way up there and find him.
Good thing she went through all that training to carrying people in dangerous situations.
Good thing she went through boot camp.
Oh yeah, like this is connected.
But basically, she finds that this entire city, I feel like it keeps getting bigger as the chapter goes on.
Mm-hmm.
But this entire like city of old people is ruled. They've like voted. They did in a president. They have their whole like barter system. They have an economy based on trading items across towers.
Yep. Those items include booze, porn, and hard drugs.
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say this isn't that important part of it, but the old guy who introduces the concept asks her if she wants to do some meth. She doesn't. It turns out like the community was basically in chaos, and they were like falling apart somehow. Even though they're just old people sleeping in rooms, they have like politics going on and everything. And she's kind of there to like, or the president is there to keep order, but now he's like, I don't want to leave. My family's lying about me being stuck in here. He's busy. I guess Yukie doesn't really play much of a part in the story at all. He's like busy reading emails from other tenants. He's judging all these like complaints, sentencing people to death. This one, I'm trying to see if I wrote it in my notes because this first punishment we see was.
You're already gonna go over sentences, B?
Yeah, it's fine. Listen, this
It
was
was more of a
never supposed to
suggestion.
be that strict of a format.
Also, I think you might be missing a plot point. Not to say like, oh, this is such deep work, but she's going up there because there's like power outages and stuff like that going on, and they don't know why. And the reason that's happening is because the president, and we come to find out like one of his like main rivals are hacking the entire system to control everything, mainly for punishments. They're like,
Oh yeah, I did actually forget about that part.
yeah, so that's technically why Yuki is there. But like you said, she has no reason to be there because it's just like she gets there and it's like, oh, well, I'm not coming down. You know?
Yeah, and what she's
Nothing's
really told is like,
broken.
there's like the guy's family is like he's stuck up there, go get him down.
Yeah.
But yeah, she was called in because there's like a power outage in this like enormous city-sized facility.
And it's only because they're hacking everything. Yeah, because they can, like, the inmates are running the asylum literally. They're controlling like all the computer thingies or whatever.
And this eventually turned into a power struggle with, bombs going off, as you do have at the old folks' home.
He gets there's an assassination attempt.
Yeah. The first like punishment we see for someone who broke the transaction laws or whatever is he's sentenced to be sprayed with boiling water. By malfunctioning the shower system. That's another part of the power thing. But yeah, so they're basically like, as the president is fixing things, he sent a bunch of packages of gratitude and also sent a lot of bribes, like, hey, fix this thing for me and I'll give you this thing. But he sent a bomb with the message, end your dictatorship, or next time I'll send a lethal bomb, which is hilarious. The idea they sent a non-lethal bomb to only blow him up a little bit.
I know.
Just keep him on the edge of his seat.
Yeah, so he starts a war, I guess like a civil war, because he's not really going to war against it, just like some people.
Yeah.
The independent nation of paradise is what he calls it.
Yeah.
Oh, the independent nation of paradise against insurgent guerrillas. And then yeah, she keeps climbing up and up and up and up and up
to heaven,
into the clouds. And yeah, and she's just like, how high up does it go? And that's kind of the end. And then we see God.
Then it goes up to Nirvana, heaven.
Yeah, it goes up to Nirvana. It goes up to like Buddha or some shit. It's up there.
A scene that we'll see again later.
But yeah, it turned for those who aren't familiar with high rise, it's obviously a very complicated thing, but it basically involves this mega high rise apartment, and it's so huge that like people start creating their own like societies and like gangs, very Lord of the Flies ish, but obviously in a building. And they end up going to war. They end up going to war with each other in the high rise, and like, but it's obviously a much more serious take on everything, and it doesn't end with it going to heaven. But like this is like, this feels like another take on high rise. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It kind of got me woken up for a minute. I'm like, oh, this chapter is good. Oh,
yeah.
Is there still hope? This is going to turn out great.
And J.G. Ballard does have a lot of that heightened sort of surreal reality.
Yeah.
In a lot of his stories, and it really does, like, a lot of these stories feel like, oh, this may not feel exactly like a J.G. Ballard story, but it has like a lot of the same sort of trappings of a J.G. Ballard story.
Okay, I just want to point out that we're like 30 minutes in and we're only about a fifth of the way through.
all right.
Okay. We'll try to keep the sentences quicker. Okay, thank God. Actually, from here on, I'm going to have much less to say about these because my notes are literally like two sentences or so. So this one, I feel like I was actually confused for a second because it involves Yukie trying to get an old lady into like this place called Kami Home, which only takes 20 people. So it's like this contest to get into it. It suddenly feels like she's back in that training zone with like the boot camp. She meets a hero named Owlman for no reason. kills him with the doesn't kill him, but gives him a heart attack with her cell phone. Well, she has a bunch of cell phones, and it gives him a heart attack. And those same cell phones save her for some arrows later on. And then we see the old lady come back. She wants to stay here too, like the lady who's senile and makes things disappear.
Setsuko is her name.
But her powers are a little more under control now.
Also, the AA dentures are back.
Oh yeah, we see the dentures guy. We see the boot camp guy, and then it turns out that all this was to train people. Once again, the boot camp thing all over again. That they're just training people, like old people, to become strong enough to fight old aliens from the fucking Red Man story in space, and that's it. That's the end of the chapter.
Yeah, it's old people battle royale.
It's a battle royale crossover episode.
I think this is where the first volume ends if you bought like the individual volumes, and this is where I feel the series should have ended, and I'd have been happy.
I mean, yeah, it would have been just a funny ending to a series. I mean, the volume I had, this was the start of volume 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What the fuck were you reading?
The 7-volume
Because
version?
remember, the Tankobon versions had a few like one-shots mixed in with them too.
Well, yeah. Also, not to get too deep in the weeds, but like the Shintaro Kago manga I have, which I'm 99% sure was this. I just can't remember. I don't want to say that for sure. Was really thin. Like it was like a little booklet. It almost felt like I was getting like a really like one of those monthly comic books like you get in the US. It felt like that in like a Tankobon version where it wasn't like it was not 200 pages. It was like 60 or something. I don't remember. Maybe 100. But yeah, it was small. So yeah, chapter 7.
That was chapter 8. We're on to chapter 9.
No,
chapter 9
now.
Yeah, but like
Dementia.
I said, that would have been a...
Okay, I'm only going to say this because I'll let you do the census, but that dude that she's taking care of in this one, that's Kazuo Uematsu with the fucking striped shirt.
Okay.
That's clearly him. Google him and you'll see that's him. It's not his name, but yeah.
Like I said, the last one would have been like a funny ending to the series had it stopped there, but it keeps going. So, Patient of the Week is a mangaka known by Suiho Mizuto, who has hired UA to basically take care of him and be his like mangaka assistant. And because of that, he apparently has prophetic manga powers, and so she ends up in a death loop where she just goes to Comic-Cat with him, helps him like distribute a series, and ends up in like an attack, getting run over when she tries to escape. She tries everything she can to get out of this death loop until eventually she just has to say, okay, hey, classmate of mine, who I guess had a thing for me, could you draw more pages of this manga so I survive? And he's like, sure, but you have to clean my toilet dressed as a cat maid. So she survives.
The kawaii battle cyborg kitty.
Yes, but then she realizes she's been reborn as a cyborg cat maid, just like he wanted her to be. I guess her friend was Elon Musk in a universe where he has an ounce of creativity.
My only note to this one is all of her powers at the end. She has the booby missiles, the butt machine gun, and when you're hungry, she feeds you a piece of her head, which I'm not sure. I don't know what the last part's a reference to. It has to be a reference to something, but whatever it is, I don't know. If you know what it is, let us know.
Maybe it's just
like,
fresh off the old Shintaro Kago dome.
Yeah, if you see the picture, she's actually taking a chunk of her head off and like going to hand it to you. But anyway.
Chapter 10. Yukie cares for a clean freak, Sumiko Baisho, who forces Yukie to clean every single surface, basically like extreme OCD about even the littlest dust mites in every little nook and cranny. Her son, this is where we get to the daughter-in-law shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Her son says that she's not even a germaphobe. She just really wishes she had a daughter-in-law to bully. Just like take a shot every time someone mentions bullying daughters-in-law. You will be dead by the end of this episode. She's tortured all of his previous wives, and he has had so many wives.
There are at least 24 of them. I counted.
The victims of mothers-in-law support group show up to help.
Yeah.
But they can't find any, what's her name? Sumiko can't find any possible reason to bully them, so she goes insane. She just needs to bully somebody so bad that she starts, instead of bullying them for their cleaning, she starts bullying them for their bodies, finding dirt, earwax, their blood triglyceride levels, dirty teeth, normal stuff. Until she drives them crazy too. She runs outside, finds trash in the park, crash in the city, radioactive waste, dirt in a girl's pores at the hospital, dirt on Otaku's hands, and AKB-48 meet and greet. And then villains in the entertainment industry and
49?
government corruption.
It's
Oh,
AKB 49.
okay, fine.
Well, the
Fine.
manga
Yeah,
said 49.
sure. Yeah, that's different. That's legally distinct. And she just keeps going up and up until she's finding government corruption, and that's the end of the story.
Okay, so by that volume, I was getting really tired of all the tropiness. By that chapter, and I literally put bully mother-in-law thing. There's an AKB48 reference, and then my next note, and this is important because that's my first short note. My next note for the next chapter is like, okay, I don't know. This one's about roads, and you can't only drive on some of them if you're doing a certain thing. I don't get it. I'm getting tired of this manga. I wish it was actually about her eating cars, because the big cover page is her eating a car, Yukia eating a car, and I pretty much explained it to you. Basically, she's speeding with this old dude, and then she gets pulled over. You can't be on this road. This road's for people who do this. And then she's to another road. Oh, this road's for people who are old and doing this. Get off of this road. It's like, oh, this road's people committing suicide.
This
Well,
is
you
the
can't
one
be on
that
this
actually
road.
felt like Atrocity Exhibition or Crash, I guess.
Like,
if you want
it
to go
was
there.
so obnoxious. I was like, this can't be the whole thing, and this
I
can't
love
be the
this
whole
one.
thing.
Yeah,
And it
I'm
was
with
the
B
whole
on this one.
thing.
This one was great.
And at the end, it's like, oh no! It turns out this is the road people who died while they're driving, and the dude's dead. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done. Good night. Manga's done.
Well, you are done because
Manga's
that was
done.
the last page.
Yeah, that was the last page, and I don't fucking care about this chapter. This chapter's bullshit. I wish it was about her eating cars.
Okay.
I think that's a line from a Blondie song too. But anyway.
How dare you drive while not under the influence? This road's for drunk drivers only.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. I don't want to.
Okay. Chapter 12. Patient of the week is Jushiro Mifune. He's on life support and his family's deciding whether
Famous
or not
actor
they're about to pull.
Toshiro Mifune, by the way.
Jushiro.
The samurai. No, but he's a
Toshiro.
samurai.
Yes, I know.
The actual guy.
Because To and Ju
No.
are both pronunciations the kanji for 10.
I think they probably changed it in your volume.
Yeah,
But
I think in our version, it just straight up says Toshiro Mifune.
Okay.
in another universe, Toshio Mifune would have played Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes. Or Darth Vader.
Or Darth Vader, but yeah.
Yeah.
So yes.
He would have been in the movie.
Yes. He's on life support, and his family's deciding whether or not to pull the plug. But the plug is now mixed up with a bunch of other plugs.
Oh, God.
So she just has.
I forgot the
So
chapter.
you can't just have to go on a mission just trying to figure out where this plug actually leads back to. And it just takes her into this jungle of tied up cords. There are like societies living in there. There's an ex-doctor who saves her from getting her kidneys taken. She even finds a PC, a copier, a kotatsu. There's so many things. He tells her to follow one more cable just to get first aid for her situation. And on the way back, we find that this cord is actually tied up to a hanging platform for executions. And she's accidentally pulled someone to death with it. Because earlier they're talking about how the life support cancellation things, they have a triplicate. So no one has to feel guilty just like they do or allegedly do in state executions.
Yeah, this one looks like a chapter out of Blom. And otherwise, there's not too much to it.
Yeah. It's just the struggle of trying to find something in a tangled up mess of cords taken to a weird, grim extreme.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fine. Chapter 13, Oyanagi is upset to find that she has a new wrinkle. Her somewhat younger husband says she's overreacting, but it turns out he's having an affair with a much younger girl. Rumiko tries to cut off her wrinkles with scissors until Yukie instead offers her an advertisement for a beauty cream said to erase wrinkles instantly. The cream it doesn't work, but it works overnight. Oh no, it doesn't work overnight. We're getting that. The next morning, she looks like she's written and illustrated by Junji Ito. Her wrinkles have gotten so much worse.
Oh, yeah.
Wrinkles are infectious. It starts getting all over the place. Everything starts wrinkling. Old people become old. Bullets get wrinkled and fall away as soon as the police start trying to shoot her, the military, whatever they are. Buildings and cars become wrinkled. They use a truck full of smooth young women to lure the sentient wrinkles away and into the ocean. And all of the wrinkles in the world follow after them, jumping into the ocean. Every single wrinkle on Rumiko's body is gone, including the ones in her brain.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my notes, I have it ends with a smooth brain reference. Me after this manga is finished.
You all
Yeah, me all the time. Okay, so the next volume, I hate the next one because this is like the third time that Mr. Kago has done another fucking like boot camp type storyline.
You're getting so many boot camps.
This daughter wants her mother to like, I guess, pass this old person test. I guess so she could like be taken care of or get money. I'm not sure why.
They get extra benefits and like
test.
tax things.
Yeah. So she wants to pass the old person test. And she gets Yukia to help her make her mother into an old person because her mother acts too young. So that's basically it. She makes her mother into an old person, and it's like she makes her dress like, a certain way, listen to certain music, talk a certain way, stop pretending she's young, not stop doing the Buriko thing. And then it ends where it's like, haha, the final test is you gotta bully your daughter-in-law. And I literally was like, bro, this story was already a big fucking rehash, and you brought to my notes, and you brought up daughter-in-law bullying again.
Man, you did forget the part where she probably violates a couple like codes of ethics when she gives the lady treatment to have her vision worsened, pulls her teeth out, and starts her on a diet with no calcium to give her osteoporosis.
Well, yeah, but it's just like that's part of becoming an old person, I guess. I don't know. I like that she was a relatively healthy older woman who had a good sense of her life. Didn't was like happy or whatever. It's like, no, you got to be old.
Yeah.
Anyway, other than that, this was a big rehash. It rehashed a rehash inside the rehash, and I'm just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. You got to be fucking kidding me. Stop doing boot camp stories, Shintaro Kago.
It was kind of fun. Some of the little like, no, I don't want to be old, but I mean, yeah, we're getting into these are the things he's going to be leaning on for the next like 20 chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so 15, 14, I already lost count, but the next
15.
15.
Yukia wakes up confused about where she is and what she was doing, but quickly remembers she was walking with this week's patient, Masao Kaneda, and they got separated. Apparently, he suffers from poriomania, which is an abnormal compulsion to wander around or leave his home. They're also trapped in a strange haze, in which she encounters multiple other old men and tries to help them, but her cell phone's dead and taxis are out of service. She eventually discovers that she's missed about 4 days, and apparently a lot of things happened in that time. All the old people are apparently trying to get into closed buildings, and eventually she finds one that from the top looks like a slot machine. Turns out, I think aliens have invaded Earth again and somehow managed to conquer it in 4 days. All of Earth's armies have just like folded, and their only tactic right now is to get them addicted to pachinko. It's apparently working.
This was all right. The pachinko thing's funny.
Yeah. I think it took a bit to get to the setup, but I like the payoff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't like this one at all. No, I had to read it twice because I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, I didn't get it.
Pachinko.
And it ends in pachinko. I didn't put what the fuck is happening. I read this twice and I still like, I don't not understand it, but I don't think it's interesting at all. Pachinko. I hate this manga. That is my note. That is my note for this chapter. I read it verbatim.
Chapter 16. Yukie and her friends allegedly go to stay at a bed and breakfast in the mountains and relax a little bit. They have no cell signal or TV, but that's fine because they're relaxing. They all have their own rooms. Very relaxing. In the morning, one of the friends doesn't come out of her room. They go in to find out she's old now. She has ROK disease. I didn't look this up. Which is airborne and causes people to age. I'm not sure what the joke was supposed to be with ROK disease. Really old now, but they spell now with a K, which is airborne and causes people to age. They what, man?
I was just laughing. Shut up.
Say it.
Going. That was stupid. Okay. Keep
going. Slowly everybody starts becoming old, but they can't go outside lest they risk spreading the old person disease. The owner shoots her. They accidentally hit a vase and find a camera. It turns out this has been a study, and rather than studying to find out the effects of old person disease on these young people, it turns out they were actually all old the whole time, and this was an experiment to let them experience being young.
It was in the future. It's stupid.
Yeah, okay, yeah, there's a robot. Yeah, and it wasn't supposed to happen so fast. They were supposed to stay young for longer. They need more work on the treatment. This one was fine. It was sloppy. It's fun, but it's really sloppy, delivery of it.
I really like this one, actually, if only because in the setup, with the class reunion and things going hectic, it sounds like a setup for an episode of Detective Conan, and I love Detective Conan. So I was like, okay, when does the murder start? Where's the Short, smart boy with glasses and a bow tie.
So for me, I really liked the setup, and then I also really liked the ending, but I didn't think that they worked together as one story.
Yeah. I mean, there's a bit where it also plays like a zombie movie in the middle, so that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, that's another thing. Like, I guess old people, zombies, whatever. But like,
Oh,
I've
man,
started
we're
to notice that
getting so
he
many
started to
zombies.
use. The last one kind of had zombies. This one kind of has zombies. There's like so many zombies. I'm like, oh my god, Shintaro Kago, did you watch Night of the Living Dead? And this is your new obsession for the next year of these volumes? Because it's published monthly. It's just like, come on, dude, stop, stop.
Yeah.
I kind of like the next one, but I'm not gonna lie. When I read this manga, I read it in 2 big chunks, obviously for each volume. And by the time I got to this one, I was fucking done. So I will admit, this story is actually a decent quality one, but after but being placed after like 5 or so shitty ones, I just couldn't, I couldn't like appreciate it. Also, it starts with like kind of another bad daughter-in-law, and I'm like, bro, stop. Not quite as bad, like obviously the other ones. So, anyways, families losing a bunch of shit around their house. Like, where's my button? Where's the coins? Where's all my shit? Where's the dog? I think the dog is lost, but you get the point. And it turns out it's all being absorbed in like the grandmother or the mother of the
The patient.
mother of the house. Yes, it's all getting absorbed into her wrinkles, and I was also kind of be like, oh god, not wrinkles again. But it actually goes somewhere interesting. The daughter decides, you know what? I'm gonna start smuggling drugs in my mom's
daughter-in-law.
What?
Don't forget daughter-in-law.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the daughter-in-law. The daughter-in-law is all like, I'm gonna start smuggling drugs in my mom's.
She
wrinkles.
starts with shoplifting, and then she starts smuggling drugs.
Oh, there's an entire shoplifting chapter coming up, and I have a lot of things to say about that.
Oh,
but
man.
yes, they does start with shoplifting because I have a lot of things to say about that chapter. But yeah, she starts like putting drugs in her. She kills a man. I think it's a drug deal. I don't forget exactly. And she hides the body in the wrinkles. And then eventually, like the cops show up, and like they both get away in the wrinkles. Well, everyone gets away in the wrinkles. They all jump in, like the daughter-in-law, the cops, Yukie. But Yukie ends up like coming out the other end somewhere, and then like some other old person's wrinkles, because I guess all the wrinkles are connected to the multiverse.
Yes.
Yeah, they did say hyperspace. And then the daughter-in-law manages to kill the cops through the wrinkles, but then when she comes out, she's in somebody getting cremated. This actually wasn't a bad chapter. Once again, this was not a bad chapter.
Yeah, it was
but
fun.
like I was done at this point. I was done.
This
literally.
was the
And
end
thank God.
of volume 1 of the 2 omnibus edition, and because the omnibus ones did come out several years apart, a lot of people only read this one and were like, oh, that was good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it could have ended there.
Honestly, yes, because the second volume is about the same quality as the last few chapters, whereas there's a few like tinges of bright moments, but it's the same thing. Like we no longer get to the highs the first few.
Go through both volumes and pick out some and remove some and make one good volume of 17 chapters, maybe 15 or so. But yeah, the second volume, second omnibus does get a little rougher. There's a lot more rehash coming up.
I also want to mention real fast that Shintaro Kago does an interview at the end of this chapter. I mean, this volume. Yes. And it is the most pretentious interview I've read in my life. Not even so much that like his answers, but the fact that he doesn't say anything. Like, I've never seen somebody. First of all, like, why are the questions so fucking long? And then he answers less than the question.
I feel like part of this comes down to the interviewer did not ask very good questions.
But it's like, when I was reading this, like, why the fuck did anyone publish this? Fun fact, we interviewed Shintaro. This is the part I was saving this for. We interviewed Shintaro Kago at SAC Anime 2017. And I've since deduced it, I'm like, where's that interview? Because I remember editing the video. I remember transcribing it myself. Me and Tiffany had to do it together because it was in Japanese. And so I went to go look it up. And it turned out he just never approved it. And he never said no. He just never replied to us. And back in those days, we were doing a crap ton of interviews all the time. And so it just got lost. It was one of the many ones that got lost in the shuffle. I'm going to fucking just publish that when I find it again. I'll just do all the work again. Come after me, Shintaro Kago. I'll talk to I have words for you, sir. And
he doesn't have words for you.
Yeah, because that's a funny thing. So in the interview we did, it was so brief and short. Like when I was doing the editing for the written version, I was making the questions purposely shorter on our end, and they weren't long questions. They weren't like this fucker in the manga. I was making them shorter so it didn't look so odd with the short answers. But what I found really funny, is that in the second volume, not to jump ahead, but there's no interview there. In the second volume's little epilogue, they mention how he doesn't do interviews very often, and I'm like, he interviewed with us. Does no one ask him? Because me and Tiffany just walked up to him, and I think Eunice was with us too. We just walked up to him like, "Hey, we're with AJ Connections. You want to do an interview?" And we interviewed him then and there.
Well, probably
Like,
where
did
was
not-
this, by the way? What convention was
Stack
this at or
Anime.
whatever?
Stack
I like-
Anime in Sacramento.
I guess, like, how often is he doing foreign conventions? It might be just that, like, oh, well, I'm here. I might as well do more interviews, you know?
And it was funny because, like, thank God his booth, like, there was no booth behind him. So we were able just to, like, come through this curtain. And we had set up our camera right behind his own booth. And nobody stopped us. See, this is the shit we would do at conventions when I had no care for the world. Like, what's the con going to do? Stop us? Like, we just started setting up cameras in a booth that was kind of roped off but was empty. But anyway,
yeah, I mean,
anyway.
the interview comes down to stuff like, hey, people describe your work as this genre, and he's like, I don't care about genre.
Oh,
because
I
that is
do
a
remember
stupid
one.
question.
Yeah, one of the questions we did ask him was like, "Oh, how would you describe it?" Like, people like to lump your work into Edoguro because I think we had just started doing the Edoguro panel at that time. This is 2017. It's like this is A to J year two and a half, 3-ish. So yeah, we were very new at this time, and he said something like along those lines, like, "Oh, I don't think that's my genre at all. Like, I like to cover all these other things." That interview will be up soon. Look forward to it sometime in August. I definitely still have all
When
the
did
files
this
for that
interview
one.
actually take place?
2017, I think, in August. Funny enough, because I think
so
it
maybe
was
right
summer
when this,
Sec Anime.
yeah, when this volume came out, when this
No,
omnibus.
exactly, because I'm pretty sure. Like, once again, this is all fuzzy, and I can't remember it exactly. I did go to his booth and buy some shit because not because we did the interview, because I did want some of his stuff, and I'm pretty sure he was promoting. He was at the con to promote this manga, which you couldn't buy at his booth. You had to go to like whatever publisher, but the publisher was there too. But he had his Japanese works there, and you could also get him to do a commission for you, which sounds crazy. Why the fuck didn't I get a commission from him?
Actually, be really
a
cool.
friend of mine got one done, and it was like, okay, I don't want to say like, things are worth what you're willing to price them or pay for them. His commission was $60, and I remember at the time thinking, oh, that's too much for me, which. Bro, you fucking go to any convention today and you could get like you want an English voice actor who goes to every convention, they will charge you 40 plus to just autograph something. And I'm like, $60?
This is the fifth time you've ranted this on air.
No, this is good. 60. No, I'm trying to say that this is a good thing. $60 for a commission from Shintaro Kago, that's a steal. What the hell was I thinking?
Yeah, I'm like, man, I would love to have like a portrait of myself drawn by Shintaro Kago for $60. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think Toshio Maeda, who we also interviewed at the same con, he was charging like 30 or 40, like I think depending on the color or not. So I just thought, like, oh, that's more reasonable. And I bought like 2 or 3 from him, and I'm like, Shintaro Kago, like, I'm a fucking dumbass. Like, give me a sketch, I'll take the interview down if you don't like it. I'm just kidding. But
like he listens.
I'll just put it up though, because it is there's a few interviews that have been lost to time like that. I'm like, I'll just put them up. What the hell are they gonna say? They blacklist us forever.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks, Manuel.
Anyway,
volume 2.
Volume 2.
Oh, I was gonna say for me, we're actually starting at 1. The chapters start over at 1 from here for us.
Oh yeah, I had the 7-volume set that I was reading, so this is chapter 18 for me. So yes, New Year's Day, 2013. An old man asks Yukie if he can hide in her company car. Apparently, he has a lot of grandchildren because he had 12 kids. They all had a lot of kids, and now they all want New Year's money, and that's just going to drive him broke. I can kind of relate to this because I believe my great grandparents had a lot of grandkids. By my mother's reckoning,
you also have 100 grandkids.
By my mother's reckoning, she had 100 plus first cousins that she could name, and she was also one of 8.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, my grandmother, like, from my dad's side, she probably has not even 100, she probably has like 50 or 60 grandkids at least. I told you, my grandmother from my dad's side gave birth to 10 children. And I know and obviously we're the small, my little branch of the family, only 3, but I know that there's at least 2 others, two that also gave birth to 10. So yeah.
Yeah. My mother, when she would talk about this, she always said it was a combination of Catholicism and a lack of TV. So there was nothing else to do at night.
That's what my mom said too. Is that a thing that like is that a Mexican thing?
Well, I think you can also swap in
me.
Mormonism there too.
I guess, yeah. Is that just like is that just something overly religious people say who don't believe in contraceptives? Like, no TV and religion.
So,
Insert religion.
When a man and wife have nothing else to do at night, they do each other.
They make babies, which is actually a plot point in this manga, in this chapter.
So, yes, he asks Yukie to kill him or his grandchildren, but instead she just does her best to prevent his kids from having any more children of their own. Doesn't work that well. That he still has more grandkids popping out, and they all want New Year's money as soon as New Year's comes by. Eventually, the plane they're on is shot down, and they find a society of old people who also have grandkids that take all their money. And this leads to an all-out war between grandkids and grandparents that happens off-screen.
Stop doing this, Shintaro Kago. Why does everything have to end with like the two sides he created have to go to war now? It's just so. This is another trope.
I think
like,
it's just
again,
a
comedic
over-escalation of a situation that should be fairly normal.
No, and also this one I feel suffers from the lack of pages because there's literally 2 pages, maybe 3, where she's stopping the kids from fucking, and it's working, and then suddenly they're pregnant. And there's no explanation. It wasn't. There's no panel where she's like, "Ah, shit, I fucked up," or she fell asleep and they start fucking. There's none of that. They're just pregnant.
Manual.
And I'm like,
life finds a way.
Finds a way. Shut up, Ian Malcolm. But yeah,
that's Dr. Ian Malcolm.
Oh, shut the fuck up. Anyway, I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel like there was something missing there. Honestly, if there was just a panel, not even panel, throw Yuki in that panel, I'd be like, oh no, it happened anyway. That'd have been fine. But the fact that it just happened,
I feel like there was, but
no, there isn't. I kept going back because I'm like, I actually went back. I'm like, wait, it's in my notes too. It's like it was working, and then suddenly it's not, and there's no explanation of why it's not. That's bullshit.
We're supposed to move on, but I was also looking through because I was so sure that there was something, but no, I don't know.
I have the manga open again as we're doing this because my notes are so shallow. I'm trying to see if like there's anything I'm missing in the chapters I have to cover it. I'm like, nope, my notes still working. Anyway,
Setsuko with the dementia is back again, and she remembers Yukie this time.
God.
The treatment works. She no longer has dementia. They've effectively cured dementia for at least today. Maybe not tomorrow, but today dementia is cured. She no longer makes things disappear. Now she remembers too much, and things she remembers come back to life. It turns out, though, that it's not that things she remembers come back to life. It's things she believes actually become true. So if someone died, it turns out, no, they didn't. If, she believes Japan won World War II. She believes that War of the Worlds was a documentary, and now Martian tripods are attacking Tokyo. And they basically have to convince her, no, this is all fake. This is all just part of a play. We wrote this. It's a script. And the world is all fixed. And it really is all part of a play.
Yeah. I like how you skipped the part about the actor who is like able to like change their appearance.
Yeah, because I thought that was dumb.
Yeah, because it turns out the actor was like not really doing it. She was making it happen because they thought it was the actor. But there was a part. My favorite part was when the actor is like being the dog, and then it's all like, I can do the dog's voice. It's like, come inside. Like, no, we can't let the dog in. And then somehow the dog comes in, and obviously by then we realized what's really going on. But for a hot second, you're like, wait. How did the actor turn into the dog?
So I wrote in my notes,
that's good acting.
Because I believed that the husband only thought it was an actor because he didn't know she was bringing stuff back. And I was like, that's surely what's happening. But then it turned out, no, there was an actor. But then she also is just bringing stuff back.
Yeah, that was a weird plot point that they didn't need to include. So the next chapter is one that I actually kind of like, mainly because the ending. The rest of it's kind of bullshit. So work shortages are still happening. I'll let this one slide because this isn't brought up that often. Well, it's brought up a lot, but it's whatever. So work shortages are still happening within like the medical world. So now they're replacing like some of those unfilled jobs with zombies. And it's something you can send to before you die. Like, oh, also take care of my family. And then you become a zombie. And people start disappearing at this hospital, and this one lady's like, wait a minute, because she gets the idea put into her head from this other guy that zombies eat people. That's what you don't see. Look, this zombie bit me. And he shows like a bite in his arm, but it's like, no, that's just your dentures, old man. And she starts believing that zombies are for sure eating all the other patients that keep disappearing. And then it turns out all the patients come back. And it's like, oh, oh my god, like I thought the zombies were eating you. It's like, oh, well, they were going to, but then we came to an agreement that they're only going to eat you. And then she's like hooked up on this thing where they're all just, I don't know what they're doing. They're just like eating her in pieces, or they're keeping her alive so they can still keep eating her. But that was a pretty good ending. And honestly, the ending's the only part that did it for me.
Yeah,
But
this
it was
chapter
good.
reminded me a lot of one specific chapter from Tomie. Maybe we'll get there when we get there, when we eventually talk about Tomie.
This chapter reminded me specifically of like a Goosebumps episode, Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. Obviously, it's way too extreme for that, but it had the same kind of like, especially it's pacey because how short it is, had that same kind of 30-minute like, you know, twist ending at the end. A Goosebumps story. And I'm pretty sure like R.L. Stine or the real underpaid authors who actually write his work could actually come over here and like, I mean, they could probably adapt this in a way where it is like acceptable for like young adults at the very least. But I did find it weird. I'm like, what are they keeping alive? Like they already ate all of her, but they're still keeping her head alive. But that also reminded me of my one of my zombie theories, where it's like, at what point do you stop eating the person? Because in all zombie movies, they eat the person, but then I guess once they die, they stop eating, because then that person comes to life, but they're not all eaten. They just have a few bites missing. So yeah. I guess maybe that's why they're keeping her alive. Maybe Shintaro Kago has the same thought. Whatever. Volume 4. Oh, it's a thief one.
Okay. Chapter 21 overall. So yes, Yurei notices an old man shoplifting, and the officer just kind of wants to ignore it because old people are committing crimes to get into jail, so they have companionship, food, and beds. This leads to basically an arms race of old people committing crimes more flagrantly, and people just trying to make it vengeance so that they can ignore old people committing crimes, which eventually leads to crime being legal for elderly people. It turns to the Purge, but just for people over the age of like 60.
Okay, so the crazy part about this story is that I forgot I glanced over this part in the last thing, but we already mentioned it briefly. In the interview from the first volume, Shintaro Kago said that, I don't like to talk about my politics or political views on things. I'd rather you infer that from my work.
Oh, you can infer so much from this chapter.
Yes, exactly. There's a lot going on in this
real chapter in like the whole series.
There's so much going on in this chapter.
This is happening. This is real.
This also reminded me, if you ever watch Last Week Tonight, is that John Oliver? Is that what the show's called?
Yes.
There's the one, I forgot what the show's about. It's about old people, I guess. I don't remember what the exact topic was. Remember at the end of it, they're doing one of those little segments they always do where they do a little joke infomercial. And it's like, and if you're old and you can't afford anything, just start stealing. No one's going to stop you. No one's going to stop the old person stealing from the market. And I'm like, oh my God, this actually is a real political issue, by the way.
Yeah, even here.
About prisons and about like, you know, going in there just to like, one of the big things is that they're upset that even when they let them steal, they still have to live in their crappy houses or whatever. It's like, I want air conditioning. I want this. I want to go to prison. Like, you can't keep us out from prison.
There's one where it's like I have all this food now, but my electricity's off.
Yeah. And it's just like, oh my God.
You can't stop with rent.
What do you believe, Shintaro Kago? Like, what side is this manga on, do you think? The one that's trying to show this as in, like, it's still horrible that people have to go through this, or the fact that, like, man, old people steal a lot of shit these days?
I think the entire series is just, like, about how we mistreat the elderly, or at least he sees the Japanese, like, society as mistreating the elderly.
Because this is also the second time, mind you, in the first time it happened, it was the daughter doing the shoplifting. But it's the second time we've also had old people shoplifting in the series. There was some manga I was reading where like it was a very aside thing. It wasn't a main plot point. Like the characters worked in a convenience store and they kept talking about this old lady kept coming in and stealing shit, but they didn't want to do anything because it was, you know, it's an old lady. I don't want to call the cops an old lady. And it's just funny. I'm like, and then I also remember reading a whole thing about like the aging population in Japan, one of those kind of stories where they mention how a lot of them have to turn to shoplifting. A lot of them, like when it gets like to the winter months, they'll do a crime specifically that will land them in jail, which by the way, apparently what homeless people do as well. homeless people do. But yeah, they would do a crime specifically that would send them to jail just so that they have heat and so they have all this stuff. And I'm like, wow, this is a really politically charged chapter, isn't it?
Is this the one? I didn't write in my notes, but he starts at some point really kind of overusing the population pyramid thing. Does that one start in this chapter, or is that
later? It's later
I
on.
think those are like the
Mentioned-
final 5 chapters or so.
Yeah,
I feel like he used it a lot.
Mhm.
But it
So-
might just be because those are the end.
But also, like, even that, part of me wonders, just jump ahead to that too, so we're talking this politics already. I apologize now. This is just my opinion, reading off the works, doing what you told me to do, Shintaro Kago. I honestly wonder, and I personally don't think it comes through in the manga otherwise. My opinion is that I don't think he's that sympathetic to old people. I don't think he is. Like, I think
It
a lot of
varies
this
by
is...
chapter, and it is like
No, I don't know, man.
he's a little inconsistent.
For lack of a better term, I think that like it's kind of like, man, there's so many old people today. I wish we could do something with them, like send them to space, or like, you know, have them do something worthwhile, or just like there are times when it comes through it, I'm like, I don't think this is a manga shining light on the problem. Like, oh man, we need to deal with this. It's more like, yes, we need to deal with this. Bring the purge. That's my view. I'm not sure if it is or isn't, but Mr. Kago, you told me to infer off the work.
It's because for me, I see like Yukie is our POV character, and
Yeah.
we should be seeing things the way Yukie sees them. The problem for me is that he writes Yukie very inconsistently.
Yep.
And I actually really like her as a character, but sometimes I'm like, I like her enough as a character that there are points where I'm like, Yukie wouldn't do that. So that's why it can be kind of hard to infer exactly what he believes, because he is being a little bit inconsistent here and there.
Yeah. Oh, I think the inconsistency is just the result of being the main character of a gag manga. She's just basically whatever the manga needs at the moment.
Yeah.
And I also want to point out that at the end of at the end of that chapter, like JD didn't mention it, but the crimes they're committing start escalating. And they start like basically committing like sexual assault and like kidnapping and shit like that. And I'm like, whoa, this manga's going places I did not think it would.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That chapter left a weird taste in my mouth. I wouldn't say bad. At the very least, it's only going to go downhill from here, because that was the only chapter of this entire volume that I feel like I had something to say about it, and that made me think. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's all downhill. Chapter 5.
Was it my turn? I lost count of who was gone. Okay.
It's you, Manuel, then me.
Oh, you know what? It's because Manuel just talked so much. I thought that he did.
Yeah.
Last one.
Oh yeah, I took
Okay.
over that one. I took over that one because that was the political one I had a lot to say about.
Yeah. Okay, so old man Yokota experiences his soul leaving his body, then comes back to life. He experiences a little out-of-body experience. He thinks he's dying. He invents a machine that can force you to have an out-of-body experience. He uses it to start pushing people out of their bodies. At first, this is good. They can see through walls, see through rubble, find people who are stuck, help people and stuff. But eventually, it turns out that people are now falling out of their bodies because it's sort of disconnected their souls from their flesh. Isekai Van makes a little appearance. I did not know how many times we see like Isekai trucks, but it's always the same little
Dude, it
angle. It's
happens
coming in
again.
exactly at such an obvious reference, and it's in like I feel like almost every other chapter, but especially in the second half.
Yeah.
But yeah, he orders the recall of his devices because he doesn't want people falling out of their bodies. But then kidnappers kidnap his granddaughter's brain out of her body.
Soul.
Just her brain soul. The soul of her brain. Yukie gives chase with the Cruelty Squad Grapendix by pulling her her intestines out of her body. But they get away. Her brain is lost forever. He feels really bad, the inventor, so he kills himself and moves his own ghost into where her brain goes.
That was weird. The ending struck me as weird. I'm like, I know what happened. It's very like, it's almost subtle because they don't really show that he really goes into her. But I'm always like, I was like, whoa, that's kind of weird. Like, what?
The fact
Like,
that he can
just her
take
now?
over like that, it's like, wait, hold on. So is
That
the
wasn't
soul the
listed.
soul, or do you just need to take the brain of the soul? Where does the soul and brain disconnect happen?
Yeah, because it was just like her brain. She was able to function. She was just like a zombie.
We seem to have perfectly ordered these so that Manuel gets to describe what I'm sure was his favorite chapter in this entire series.
It's funny you guys say that. It's funny you guys say that. So in my notes, in my notes, I have this. Okay, I bet everyone thinks I'm gonna like this one because it involves the people pissing on themselves, but I still think it was stupid, and I'm gonna tell you why. So is that why? Because it involves pissing on oneself?
Oh no, I
Diapers,
was
Manuel.
being sarcastic. I know how much we've already complained about the diapers in this series.
Exactly. So anyway, the mind you, and the reason why I told you about the diaper thing when it first appeared in my notes, because over that Redman chapter, was because by that point it already been brought up like 2 or 3 times, and that was like the 5th chapter. So, and already knowing Shintaro Kago's works that you don't often see, I started kind of keeping track of it. And when I got to this chapter, I'm like, bro, stop mixing work and your personal thoughts or whatever. Once again, you told me to infer Shintaro Kago, and I'm inferring. So this chapter is about like Night of the Living Diapers, where like instead of like zombieism, it's diapers, and like the diapers just infect you and take you over or something, and a resistance has formed when like basically the way people were able to discover like, are you a diaper? Are you controlled by the diapers? It's like I know what'll stop the diapers if you piss yourself, because that for sure will get rid of the diaper. That will prove that you don't have a diaper, because that goes against the diaper mythology.
Mentality?
It goes against the diaper. Yeah, mentality. So just piss yourself or prove it, and that's how the resistance formed. They all pissed themselves, and now they're finding a diaper. They have a diaper person amongst their little crew, and they're like, which of us is it? We need to show our underwear. And I'm like, oh my god, this is an excuse to just see Yuki in his panties, which I think it was, by the way. But then
Absolutely.
and then it ends with them like being like, okay, you know what, let's just do it again. Let's just all piss ourselves to figure out who the diaper person is, because there's still more of us becoming diapered. And I hate how many times I've said the word diaper so many times. But anyways, so they're all like, you're right, we haven't pissed ourselves since we made our little gang in this HQ. So they all piss themselves, and throughout the world has a big diaper, and it all kind of explodes.
Somehow, this isn't the end of the series.
Yeah, exactly. But it involves piss and diapers. The whole thing's about diapers. And I am sorry. I am actually, you know what? No. I'm judging. I'm judging Shintaro Kago. Like, that is a weird obsession to have. And you brought it up far too many times for it to not be a thing that you think about on the regular. So that is what it is.
I mean, maybe he just thinks it's funny. Maybe he just likes lowbrow humor.
I don't think so, man.
Maybe.
If you see this guy's art,
I don't care what he's into in his personal life, but I also didn't particularly care for this chapter. It was kind of a funny idea, but honestly, the thing about like it's an apocalypse and there's a resistance is we have that too much in this story already.
Exactly. How many times is the world going to end until it? And this time was very definite. Like when the world had a diaper on it already. I'm like, come on. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I have. Did you guys think I'd like it because they're pissing themselves?
No, I thought you'd hate it because of the diapers.
Oh yeah. I did too though. I'm like, bro, stop putting your diaper fixation in this manga, please.
I mean, it's the thing I would push back on that is that it's his art and he can do whatever he wants and he should be allowed to do whatever he wants. I was more just kind of bored by the chapter.
I do want to reiterate, by the way, I'm not, even though I did literally say stop doing it, I'm not saying that he has to not include it. It's funny because it gets brought up again in a bit. And I'm going to get there. Trust. I hope that chapter's mine. If not, I'm going to just take that one over too. But again, the diaper thing is brought up directly in the chapter. And mind you, I've been thinking about this all along. And I'm just like, bro, stop. But also, keep doing what you're doing, bro. It's your art. Do what you want. Just, I will judge you for it. Anyway.
Yeah. I'll move this to the end to like talk more about art and stuff. And we'll get 7. There. But yeah.
Okay. The patient of the week this time is Santa Claus? Apparently, kids have been receiving inappropriate gifts, no gifts, and lucky ones have gotten multiple sets of presents. So apparently, Santa Claus has dementia and has been misgiving gifts or just not remembering what is appropriate. Like, I gotta say, Santa Claus assaulting a woman whose child said that they wanted a little brother was not on my list of things that would happen in this manga.
Oh my god!
Insane.
That took me out of the whole thing. Because, oh my god! Has anyone ever seen Silent Night, Deadly Night? Because like the first time I watched that movie, it's a horror movie. I didn't know there'd be so much assault in that movie.
No.
And it starts with that kind of scene, and it reminded me of that. It took me back to that where it just like, whoa, did Santa just do that? And he even walks away. He's like, presents coming in 9 months, and I'm like, what the fuck, Santa?
Yeah.
Anyway,
There's been rape a little bit in this story, but that was the most like graphic scene of it, and it wasn't like graphic.
It wasn't graphic, but
but
like
it was.
she's bent over, and then it cuts that to the line. So yeah,
Yeah.
just like whoa, Kago, sir.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay. Luckily, Yurie is able to catch him, and with his still mild dementia, the appropriate treatments and care from Yukie, that alleviates most of his symptoms just in time for Christmas. Two down on their luck Yakuza decide to kidnap Santa to get him to give him the weapons so they can make names for themselves. They try to kidnap his reindeer, but Santa just puts the reindeer down. Apparently, he's going to trade them in for like their new cars. The Yakuza members then get the bright idea to disguise themselves as children and just ask for a rocket launcher and other weapons, which Santa apparently gives them. This leads to another escalating war between organized crime units, where they each just ask Santa for an increasingly like more powerful weapon until some kid just gets the red button for a nuke.
yeah, okay. So once Yukie found Santa, he just needed to go to jail. That's the end of that. Should have been the end of the story. Like, yeah, you committed like crazy assault on that woman back like 2 pages ago. You're going to prison for life, and that's the
but
end
he
of the
has
chapter.
dementia. 21.
Nah, that's the end of the chapter.
But Manuel,
So,
he's
yeah.
an old person, therefore is not liable for
Well,
any
there's no
crimes he
crimes.
commits in Japan.
Oh my god, I forgot. And that was apparently there is continuity established as we discover in a few more chapters. So yes, I guess he does what he wants. That was some crazy shit, though, man. I don't know. Also, it did that fucking thing again. Shintaro Kago creates two sides and they fight each other.
Yep.
Stop
Yeah.
doing that, Kago. Stop it.
Yeah. What's the next one? Oh,
Mochi.
Mochi. Oh boy,
Oh.
we're gonna start hearing about Mochi a whole
you
lot
start,
after this.
before you even start, they already brought up Mochi like twice before, but then after this one, it's like, oh, I forgot to pick up Mochi every chapter, and then there you go.
We are at
So,
the
yeah.
point for sure. If we hadn't been before, we're at the point now where
He's tired.
he has a list of old people traits, and he makes sure to mention them as much as possible. And a few more chapters, we're gonna get the biggest climax of that. But for now, an old woman's very distraught that her daughter-in-law, I don't remember this time, would give her mochi. Thousands of elderly Japanese people die from choking on mochi every year.
Oh, in my notes, it is her
UPA
daughter-in-law.
Of course it is. Yukie enrolls the lady in basically how to eat mochi school. And they learn how to oh man, it's another fucking boot camp too. They go to mochi boot camp and learn how to chew super good. I wrote down, our daughters-in-law show no mercy. We've got halitosis and osteoporosis, pissing and shitting in our diapers all day.
No,
These are
okay,
little,
thank you for you bringing that up, because in my notes for this chapter, we're having this chapter, stupid Mochi one. There's another diaper reference in it. That's all my note for. That's my literal one sentence thing to this.
Old people become healthier and stronger, and can also chew mochi really well. Daughters-in-law shake with fear. Someone invents elder assassination mochi, and it doesn't work. But some new guy has invented a new super assassination mochi that keeps expanding endlessly while you chew it. And then the original old lady just keeps chewing and chewing and chewing, and she chews so fast she creates a wormhole at the end.
Into her daughter-in-law's stomach.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Ice Knight of Mochi. But she just is able to eat faster than it can spread.
So the next chapter, I hate this one. The stories are getting pretty bad.
Oh, this is Valentine's
I
Day.
only, yeah, you know what my notes say? Chocolates, Valentine's, worst one so far. And the only reason I mentioned that so far is because the next one was like my one for the next note. And don't worry, I won't spoil the plot line. I'll skip the part where it says what it's about. But I put this blank one is actually the worst one so far. I was wrong about the previous one. So yeah, basically this chapter, this dude gets so many. He has all these like, he's old, but he has all these like suitors. I guess the word, I don't know.
Obsessive
People send him
fans.
chocolate.
He was an actor.
Yeah, because he was an actor.
Yeah.
He was an actor. And like he was an old heartthrob actor, and people are sending him all these chocolates for Valentine's Day, and he won't accept any of them for whatever reason. Just accept them, dude. Just eat the chocolate, but he doesn't because he doesn't want to like commit, I guess. And they keep getting sent, keep getting sent, keep getting sent. Yuki's trying to hide them, keep getting sent. Nothing's working. And eventually, she's like, she's like, what'll fix this? Just pick one of them, marry someone else, end all this. He's like, I know, I'll marry you. And then she escapes, and turns out he's made out of chocolate. That's it. How to fuck the rest of this? This is stupid.
It was fine.
I like the way like the obsessive amounts of like work his fans apparently went into to like give him chocolate. Like there's a scene where they swap out the water in his hotel room pipes with chocolate.
I like his bodyguards are chocolate.
Yeah,
chocolate.
It's funny because just hands him chocolate, says you don't have to pay. Oh no, the change is made of chocolate coins.
And the we haven't mentioned it that much, but like we get the Yukiya shower scene. That's where the chocolate happens.
Okay,
but anyway,
yeah,
it was whatever. Next chapter.
So it's time for a national elderly bingo tournament with fabulous prizes. So there are a bunch of 5x5 apartment buildings, and every time someone in them dies, the light goes on and marks another spot on the bingo board. We see a bunch of people just like going about their lives and dying. And this is a really weird chapter where not a lot happens. Like a lot of it is just like 11 pages of like the outside and some like text bubbles before we actually even see Yurie.
I kind of like that part because we're getting like it's sort of setting up like, oh yeah, bingo, old people, but then you sort of the way the people are talking, you can infer like, oh, these are not old people playing bingo. What's going on?
I hate that you said that, B, because this chapter feels like Shintaro Kago woke up on Thursday, like, shit, I got 14 pages due tomorrow. I'll just fucking make 15 of the, I'll make 11 of the pages, just fucking building bingo. And nobody, I'll put word bubbles here and there, and no one will know otherwise. As a matter of fact, 5 years or 10 years from now, someone's doing a podcast, and B's gonna be all like, "Oh, I actually thought that was a great move."
The thing is,
I'll look like a genius.
Like, no, it's not that I think it's genius. Like, the thing is, I don't care how much work goes into making the art. I just care about the final product. For me,
this
as
story
the reader,
feels like it was also a last minute thing, but JD finished the synopsis.
Yeah, I think he's experimenting with his format. He knows he has to fill 15 pages. He's like, how do I stretch this out? How do I make this fit into 15 pages?
Yeah, and I don't think it's like the best story. It's kind of fine.
Yeah,
but I like that specific part. I like the way the dialogue was written for those scenes, for those pages.
Yeah, Yurie is taking care of one of the patients that lives in one of these buildings, and she's preventing someone from Yuki. I'm sorry, is preventing someone. I wrote this on my notes in Word, and it changed every Yukie to Yurie, I believe.
Yurie?
Oh, okay.
Lovely.
Yeah, so that's if I keep messing up her name, it's because of that, and I'm just reading it straight off my computer. So yes, she's keeping him alive, which prevents someone from getting a bingo. The unseen players can't interfere inside the building, but then they can attempt to, kill Yukie outside it by, having her get run over by a truck, killed by a spree killer.
Isekai truck.
Yeah.
Isekai truck.
Then they get their final idea to cause a bunch of deaths. They cause a stock market crash, which causes multiple old people to kill themselves, and a bunch of them get bingos.
Yeah, this was one that has one very obvious joke, but I think it's told pretty funny. I like the way he did the dialogue, even though, yes, he did spend a lot of pages on just exteriors of buildings. But it's not like the best story, but it's fine.
Hey, man,
it's not the worst by far.
Sorry. There's been a lot of good manga written in, 2 days? I think that's what Toriyama always said he did. I would spend 5 days lazing around, and then I'd realize, oh yeah, I have 2 days to draw Dragon Ball. Here's the next chapter.
Well, then let's not talk about Toriyama.
Fun little Dragon Ball reference later.
Oh yeah. So anyway, what's the next one?
Okay, this one's gonna be the easiest one to describe. Ready?
No, this is the worst one. This is the worst one.
God, okay, here we go. Here we go. Listen. In the year 12,013 AD.
Okay, go ahead.
Say it. Go. Say it.
There's too many words in this chapter.
Yes, okay. In the year 12,013 AD, Professor Yukieko finds a 10,000-year-old home. Every single old person trope that has been mentioned in the series so far is spelled wrong because they're in the future, and it's something from the olden times. Yep. They cloned an old person.
That's it. That's the whole fucking story. Nothing happens here. It feels like a really bad version of Eclipse episode. Like, if you ever watch Hercules and Xena, I think Xena did it, not Hercules. If you ever watch Xena, Warrior Princess, there were I think there was like 2 or 3 episodes that took place in like modern times, or like in the 1800s, actually, not modern times, but like in the future, and they were rediscovering like the Xena shit, but it was a clip show, and it was that kind of shit. I feel like this feels exactly like that.
I
It was
feel like
what
I've
is
seen this
happening?
exact thing in another anime or manga, and I can't remember what it was now. But yeah,
And I
it's just.
remember, I
However,
remember watching. Oh,
one thing,
hold
one
on.
thing about this
Go ahead.
chapter, even
Yes.
though I also didn't really like this chapter, I love the callback to it in the next chapter.
Oh yeah, I will.
Okay, I didn't care for this chapter that much either, but I just want to see at the end. Now that they've cloned an old person, are they going to make like the Jurassic Park version of that?
Oh, well,
That would have been a fun. That would have been a fun episode, and
That would have been a
or
fun
chapter,
ending gag. I think it was just been like geriatric park.
Yeah,
geriatric park. So my big issue with this one is how wordy it is. I remember watching a documentary on EC Comics. It was funny because I thought this as a kid. Like I'm too old. I'm too old. I'm too young to remember EC Comics in its original run. But I did get a lot of reprints, like when because I grew up at the right time when like Tales from the Crypt, the TV show, was out. So I remember going to getting reprints of like Vault of Horror and like Tales from the Crypt and like The Witches, something, I forgot what the fuck her thing was called. So all these reprints, and I was reading them. I remember even as a kid, I'm like, what the fuck are these panels? Because like I'm used to like at the time used to like regular comic book panels that are like they're wordy, and there's some that are like, oh my god. But these EC Comics would be like fucking look up a random page. Any random page, just Google EC Comics, look at an open page, and it'll be like half words in, that'd be great too, but like pictures are almost small in each little panel. That's what this chapter was. Why the fuck was there so much text? It was just like, what the fuck? Okay. Anyway,
yeah, I like that they decided pension or pension is something they trade on in the wild, and shoplift is a technique used to gather food or whatever. But yeah, it was the same joke on every single page and every panel.
It's one of those. It's that trope that, like, we talked about this. It's funny because we brought this up at AX, like when I was just having drunk conversations. We watched a lot of Jurassic Park movies. I think we watched them all, except up to World, the first World. So I think we were talking about like how like dinosaurs as we know them are only been discovered like within the past 100 years, and some of them are actually far more recent, like some of the more recent ones, and how like especially the earliest ones, a lot of it just inferred. I won't go into some of the crazy theories, but one of them that people have always argued is whether T-Rexes can see or not. I mean, see movement. And all that came from some old guy just saying it, and just like other people just putting bones together wrong and stuff like that. I think that's what they were trying to like reference here. Like I think Pokemon did it too, like in one of the recent ones, like in Sword and Shield.
Dracovish.
Yeah, where like you get the wrong fossil. I mean, like it was they're the right fossils for the game, but like they're wrong, like this big body with a tiny head kind of thing. I don't know. There's no way except for the reference, but yeah. Anyways, my next chapter, chapter 12, the Isekai van actually hits Yukiya this time. It scores a win. Isekai like 1, Yukiya 20. Doesn't matter. It gets her this time. And she gets sent to the afterlife, which is like this place full of candles. And she sees a candle going out, and she takes another candle and lights it, and replaces the burnt out candle with the new candle, and she's back to life. And she then she's at work and someone else is dying. She's back in the candle place. She finds the burnt out candle and switches it with another one, and she keeps doing this over and over and over again. And eventually Death shows up, and Death's like, bro, what the fuck you doing? Stop messing with death and life. And it's like, she's like, but they're dying. He's like, well, get this, each candle you've been replacing the old one with is a real person you're killing. And then they start showing like somebody like getting married, somebody just eating whatever, and they're dying because that's the candle she's taking. And it's like, also the people you're bringing back to life are all zombies. They're supposed to be dead, which, by the way, plot hole, Yukiya's fine, whatever. I just want to point that out there.
I think it only points out that some of them have been dead for a long time were now zombies, like the one that was dead for 20 hours.
Okay, well, it doesn't matter, but I mean, it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because like this short story. But like, so he snuffs out the candle that's Yukiya's, and he's like, "What the fuck? You're still alive?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, well, it turns out I didn't really was worried about that candle going out again, so I lit it with 1 million of those." And so she killed like an entire nation's worth of people, I guess,
Yeah.
to make sure she lives forever.
I mean, she didn't
And
know
then
that.
10,000 years later, she meets Professor Yukieko.
Yes,
Who says, I thought I was supposed to be your descendant in this book.
yes, because now she lives forever because she lit the million candles.
It's weird that she doesn't correct any of the record, having remembered all those things.
I know she doesn't say like, by the way, it's they don't hunt pension or whatever. Like, you know, they earn pension, blah, 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 blah. And they wear diapers. Have you heard about diapers? What's the
Okay.
next
Chapter 30. It's the meta chapter.
This is fun.
I'm gonna take over this one when you're done.
No, man.
Okay.
So, yes, this is a very meta chapter about Kago Sensei making manga, having a tough life at home with a wife and a newborn. He meets his editor at a cafe. They talk about media mix, like making an anime based on some of the manga serialized in the magazine. Kago Sensei doesn't think it concerns him since his manga isn't that popular. But his editor suggests that it can be made popular with, you know, a little deception. It also comes with some changes he has to make the series more generic. His drinking buddy knows that he hates this, but he eventually convinces him when he sees the money he can be making off of it. But sadly, Kago Sensei doesn't really know how to do that very well. He makes those changes, but they don't really stick. Like, he makes Yurie more generically cute and changes the old people to cute younger girls, but he still keeps the diaper changing bits, which gets his editor yelling at him. Then he forgets that having an MC who frequently kills off patients won't make his series very popular. Sensei seems to be making a more popular series, but eventually he decides he's had enough. This isn't the kind of manga he wants to draw. He'd rather live on the street than draw it. In this fit of passion, he apparently kills his wife or causes her death. I wasn't entirely sure. Then it's revealed that all of this has been a manga that Yukie has written and is pitching to an editor who has the exact same complaints as the one in the story.
Yep. Except now she's wearing like the little dress that like Kago had written for her. A little skirt, I mean.
Yes, like I think it's even pointed out. Did you change your outfit? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I talked to B about this last night before we started this episode, but like part of me wonders if that conversation with the editor happened in real life. Like, bro, what's up with the diapers? Because I thought it was a very odd thing for the editor to point out. Like, mind you, it's a different context kind of because he's saying don't put it in this like other manga, but I'm also like, huh? It's like, you know, your editor's like, bro, stop with the diapers. Like, there's no way anyone has to see this over and over again. It's like, please, this is gonna have diapers again. And I'm like, oh my god, Kago, please. And why are and part of me loves that he addresses it himself, but part of me is also like, oh, god, whatever. Also, I've never seen him without a hat. Even the picture that like we have of him, he has his hat on, and all the official pictures I've ever seen him, he has a hat on. And I'm like, I don't even know what you call this kind of hat, like the riverboat looking hats, like the ones that like, you know, people like, you know what I'm talking about, like the ones that like,
Yeah.
they're circular but they're also flat. And I'm like, is that how he looks? He does not look like himself, like the guy we interviewed. Got the glasses, I guess. Other than that, I don't know. Like this, it was interesting. I think I also met his wife, so I thought it was funny that he kills her in this chapter. I met both his and Toshio Maeda's wife. I think their wives are also like their helpers or whatever. So, yeah, it's. I just thought that was weird. I'm just like, it was a weird chapter. Honestly, if it didn't end on that one chapter 5 when like, or chapter 6, whatever that was, when everybody was brought back, it should have ended here. Or there was many places this manga could have ended, and I'm like, why is it still going on?
Yeah, I did really like the Dragon Ball joke, Dragon Cube and 3-piece as popular running manga.
So what are your thoughts on this
Yukie
one?
is I was just gonna move on.
Oh yeah, I really like the chapter. I like the commentary on the manga and how he probably feels pressure trying to be a bit more popular and having to tone down some of the things he likes drawing or that he thinks are funny or scary.
I
and
want
how he
my
just
diapers,
decides, like,
damn it!
I'm going to do it my way. Screw popularity.
Yeah, I guess we didn't talk too much about it, but yeah, like I like that he's more like, hey, I'm more focused on making art. I really like when he says, I'd rather be homeless than draw this crap. Like, yeah, some people just want to make whatever they want to make, and sometimes it's going to be weird. And I would rather it be weird than it be boring. And like, I was going to save this for later, but it kind of fits here too. It's the same reason why, like, overall, I like this manga, even if there's a lot of choices in it that I don't like, because I like that he's able to take wide swings and miss rather than try and play it safe and make some boring shit that just like is the most perfectly commercial clean thing he could make.
Yeah. So chapter 14, the next one is the I like the cover of it. B, what's it about?
Yukie is fired. It turns out she's been making a bunch of mistakes. Well, not even mistakes, but she's been like lazy, not doing her job.
Has she been though?
Yeah, has she been? We won't find out. Maybe someone's doing this on purpose because the president sexually harassed her. This is basically the story is Yukie is fired, and then it turns out, yeah, she's fired. She's going insane, trying to like find out who would have lied or whatever by attacking all of her patients. She kidnaps a bunch of them and interrogates them and stuff, and then yeah, she's totally fired.
Yeah, this is also the chapter where we're introduced to the other number 2, Yuko, and the other person who is apparently, dating the boss, Aimi.
Yeah. So I'm kind of going to spoil something here, or potentially spoil something. But do we ever find out about those pictures? Because we don't ever find out what happened with those, right?
Nope.
Yeah, that pisses me off because that feels like a plot point that just got left. She says later on they're doctored, and she keeps saying that, but I'm like, I kept thinking that we're gonna find a Yuki a double or something, but no,
it's been that actor the whole time, Manuel. He's just committed to character.
But show us that. That would have been a funny little thing. And I have it in my notes because way earlier on, it was a chapter I didn't cover, so I didn't put it in there. But way earlier on, I had a note somewhere in the middle of chapter 1 somewhere where it was all like, man, I wish they would just show more of Greenfield, Green Home, what the fuck they're
Green
called?
Net.
Green Net. There you go. I wish they would show more of Green Net. And then on this chapter, my one note is, hey, look, it's more of the agency. But this chapter's kind of stupid. Oh man, this is a true monkey paw situation here. That's my note.
What I would have liked is like spend more time like maybe actually focusing on things she did wrong in the series. Maybe even like call back to former ones. And like, show the pictures of her doing things wrong with actual patients in the series. She's
like that
fired.
She was an accessory to murder.
Yes, she smuggled drugs, or was accessory to smuggling drugs and murder in that one too. She gave the old guy those dentures. She had her hand in several apocalypses, or if that's the plural, I don't know. She let rapist Santa get away. Like, what the fuck? There's a lot of things.
I would have liked to see like, talk about some of the things she's done wrong, make her panic, whatever. Fire her, end the series there. The end.
End the series.
Series is over.
But we've got 3 more chapters.
We've got 3 more chapters.
Oh my god! So my first note is, why is there suddenly continuity? Exclamation point! Exclamation point!
Because it's the end of the series, so like a bunch of gag series. As soon as they learn that there's an end, they start like the final arc.
This ending did not need as many chapters as it got. So basically, she's down in her luck. Some other shit happens. Who the fuck cares? She ends up like her mom died, or a lot of bad shit happens. She can't get a new job because those pictures. Blah blah blah. We still don't know. We never know who the fuck did those pictures. Maybe it was her. Maybe she was smoking. Who the fuck cares? She goes home. Her mom's dead, and everyone's trying to like get money out of her because the funeral. And it turns out she owes all this money. Which, by the way, I'm sorry, please don't cut this out, JD. I remember like I got really upset when I was going through some funeral expenses for a family member. I won't go into too much detail, but like there's a scene here where the Buddhist monk charges like some odd millions of yen for like the services, like, and by the whole thing is it's not the funeral. He's just praying to like give her a Buddhist name and send her on her way, quote unquote. I remember when we had this church service for that family member, it was free. I was told it was free, and then when we're done, it's like, oh, by the way, it's free, but there's also a base. They worded it nicer than this, but basically, you have to give us so many $1,000 as a donation. That's bullshit. I just want to call that out. That's bullshit. When I read that little panel, I got the flashbacks to that, and it made me very upset because I got bamboozled big time there by the church. Don't cut that out. That's real, because So moving on. So it turns out she has the mom left her with all this debt. She has to pay for the funeral. She already emptied her life savings before the funeral. Then when the church asked for money, and like it turns out she's in debt. Which, by the way, that's some funny shit, because I think there's some laws about like passing on debt like that, but I'm like, Japan still has it. Well, unless you have like a weird loan where you're a co-signer. But yeah, you don't take someone's debt. They could try to come after you, but you don't have to pay it. Take the dead person to court. Do what you can.
Once again,
but,
we are not legal experts. Please do not take this as legal advice.
Yeah. But anyway, so it turns out like her apartment blows up. She's like, oh, thank God, I get the insurance money. No, because her mom was a terrorist.
No joke. Family, apparently.
Yeah, her mom was a terrorist and was making bombs and in her house, and like was hiding them in the floorboards, and those went off. So not only is she not getting the insurance payout, but everyone who lives there and the apartment owner is suing her. And anything else happen here?
She tries to convince herself this is all a dream or some prank show.
Oh yeah. So she keeps thinking like, oh, I'm in heaven. The aliens are gonna get me. Yeah. Oh, I need to wake up. Oh, and
she pays a guy to
none of
punch
that
her.
happens. Yeah, and that's it. That's it.
And
Nothing
more,
happens.
and it escalates.
Yeah. Then she knocks over a set wall, and now owes even more money. Luckily, someone offers her a job.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Then it ends in a cliffhanger. What the fuck is this series? That was my last note.
It's just how like an episodic gag series has to end. They make one serious arc and then they end on it for some reason. I don't make the rules. I just observe them.
Yeah, I'm still here wishing it had ended on her getting fired. Because it would have been a good ending too.
Yeah. It would have been, honestly. Don't tell us about the pictures of fake. Actually, like B said, the better thing is to show like the real fucked up things she did, even though they might look good to her at the time, and then end it, call it a day, and I would have been so much happier. But nope, he had a contract for like 4 more chapters or 3 more, or whatever many were. So yeah,
2 more chapters, Manuel. Don't worry, we're almost out of this. So, chapter 33. That job ends up being creating hostile architecture to kill off all people so the Japanese government doesn't have to pay out their pensions and health insurance. This is where we really get into like the population pyramid thing.
Oh, God.
This includes removing wheelchair ramps and elevators, increasing the number of train tracks so there's more room for accidents, serving mochi and increasing pill sizes so they're more likely to choke. It's a very terrible look at the inverse of Japan's attempts to increase the number of children being born. Instead of doing that, they are just killing off the old people and hoping that works.
Okay, I can't help but wonder, once again, if this is Shintaro Kago's like idea. But keep going.
Yuri refuses to do this. It's against her morals as a caregiver, but immediately reverses course when she sees the money. She tells them that their methods might work, but they may also cause more problems if they don't kill off the person completely. Her idea is then to rob them of any of the usual activities that old people do, like hanging out in the park or going to painting class. Then, when they're little more than zombies, lure them over a cliff with music from when they were young. The nostalgia will just carry them over a cliff like people think lemmings do. They don't actually do that. If they survive, actors play the parts of the parents and tell them it's time to let go so that they'll just die. They'll just basically lose the will to live. Eventually, some of the elderly catch on and decide to take action. It's time for war.
Shintaro Kago, you've done this exact. Not even. Oh, he made 2 sides. No, you've done this exact thing already, sir. Please.
No, it only gets the grandchildren. Now it's against all of Japan.
Oh my God, sir, Shintaro Kago, sir. Why did you put continuity and make a quote unquote real ending, but then literally the real ending is the rehash of other plots? Oh my God, sir.
Yeah. So this thing with
care? Sorry, your last
this thing with Yukie accepting the money, it kind of like it goes back to like, oh, she was really just doing this to get points the whole time because she wanted to be the best at her job and the most popular. And there are a lot of points in the series where she does not have her patient's best interest at heart. She's just doing the thing that's going to get her the points, or she's doing whatever the statistically daughter-in-law has told her to do at the expense of the old person.
Yes.
I think it's also compounded by the fact that she has that debt that she has to pay off. So every person that has their price, hers probably just got a bit lower because of that.
Mm-hmm. So, final chapter. The war rages on. The elderly community defeats the government of Japan bit by bit, kidnapping them. Yukie at this point is no longer on their side. She's fully on the side of the government. Which another thing was really like, oh, maybe Yukie will be like, oh, you know what? No, I gotta go back to helping old people. Nope, not her. In a bid to save her own life, when they start executing people, she promises she'll do anything. The creepy old guy, who's like the leader of the old guys, decides he wants to fuck her, and she attacks him to get away. She runs, and then God meets his medicine. The end.
Mhm.
That's literally it.
Okay,
I'm like, what the fuck is this ending?
One thing you forgot in this chapter: they bring back the contagious wrinkles.
Who the fuck cares? That was bullshit. No, honestly, I have it in my notes. That was such a half-assed callback because they didn't bring back everyone.
Mhm.
Like, and don't get me wrong, they've done that already like twice, but if you're gonna bring back the wrinkles, bring back the others. But they don't. They only bring back the wrinkles. And I'm like, what a weird half-assed way to rehash your. If you already threw creativity like out the window, so you might as well just give us like episode 9 already. Star Wars reference. But anyway,
yeah, Emmanuel, I got that. Don't worry. I think he's also running into issues with the 15-page format here. Like, maybe he would have brought back more had he had like 25 pages. Generally the final chapter does get extra pages, but I think this one is still just 15.
Yeah, I really do not like adherence to a strict page count.
I want to point out that this was an online publication, and I get it that still, like, formats exist for a reason, but it's my understanding. Obviously, it did get print eventually, but it's my understanding this was a digital thing. Why the fuck couldn't he do more pages if he wanted
Probably
to?
because
he didn't care.
Probably because they were planning on a physical distribution sometime later. I mean, it's the same reason that a lot of Netflix series are still like in 24 or 22 or 44-minute lengths. It's just that somewhere this is going to be on TV that's following the traditional format. So we're just going to make it in the traditional format because that's how we know to make things.
Also, when Yuki is in heaven, all the angels have diapers.
Mm-hmm.
Shut up.
So you know
that's all I'm going to say. Yeah,
okay,
that's all I'm going to say though. And God's wearing a diaper.
Okay, I didn't know if it's supposed to be God or Buddha because she's in his hand. I was like, is this a Journey to the
Monkey
reference?
Paw reference? Yeah, I thought so too. But yeah.
Every time I've mentioned God showing up in this series, it's been Buddha, but it's,
Mm-hmm.
But my point was his diapers.
Yes.
Shintaro Kago's idea of heaven is diapers. Anyway.
So yeah, that's the series.
Okay, so I want to get this out the way before I forget, and I've been mentioning this to be a lot. My big issue with this series, first, besides the fact that I think it ran its course very early and it's like a one-note thing, is that I think we're absorbing it the wrong way. There's a lot of manga.
Manuel, you're saying we're reading it the wrong way?
Oh yeah, we're reading it the wrong way. But no, there's a lot of manga out there that do well being collected. But this isn't one of them. And I compared it, and don't get me wrong, I don't mean it totally unfavorably, but I also do mean it unfavorably. I compare this to Garfield comic strips. The book, the volume, each volume of Dimension 21 feels like those books that you used to get. I don't know if they still make them. Those books you get at the bookstore would be the collection of all the Garfield comics from like July 91 to like August 72. I know that went backwards, but you get the point. It felt like one of those where it's a one-note joke. It just like they're meant to be churned out, and you just like you collect them, and it'd be almost like, man, Garfield really hates Mondays, doesn't he? Man, Garfield and his lasagna, man, I sure like wish him and Odie will get along next week. And it's like these one-note things that never really go anywhere.
Guess Thermal's in Abu Dhabi again.
Yeah, it feels like that again. It feels like that. Obviously different subject matter, but the same idea. Where it's all like, oh, Shintaro Kago's talking about Mochi again. Oh, it's a daughter-in-law. She's going to be a bitch.
I wonder if there's like a version of this series that could exist where it's just like a 4-coma thing.
Yeah,
exactly. That's actually the perfect thing. This feels like he had a really funny idea for a really short series, or like you said, 4-coma thing, a very short, like couple page thing that somebody gave him too much free reign with. Maybe he signed a bad contract that he didn't want to do. Because there are times when I feel like some of these chapters had no inspiration behind them. I may be wrong, but there's a few of them that just feel like I'm having a bad month. I don't want to write this series. I'm bankrupt, at least for these ideas. That ending was bad. That ending felt like a way just to like plug to fill up his last like 3 or 4 issues in one meh story. So yeah, I think this is just honestly, I don't know if this shocks anyone. I don't know if this shocks anyone. This is by far, and I know I keep saying this, but I mean it this time. Like this is not like, oh, Manuel doesn't get the art, no. This is the worst manga I feel like I read this entire fucking show.
This is worse
because this
than Kincrete for you.
Yeah, no, Tekken Kincrete, I've told you before, even Tekken Kincrete, there's always some redeeming factor to them. This,
I think there's
the
redeeming
sole
factors to this too.
I don't know. The sole redeeming factor I personally would say is the art, and in Shintaro Kago's case especially, his art is so great. You could just enjoy that without the manga. I hope his other manga is great because this put a really sour taste in my mouth ever wanting to read any of his work ever again.
Well, I'm sure I'll find something of his for us to read eventually.
I'm just taken aback, and I feel bad because he's a nice guy. I like his art. I still love his art, but this manga is, I'm not exaggerating, this manga is one of the worst things, manga or not, one of the worst things I've ever read in my life. I legitimately feel like I wasted most of my time reading it. Like there was sure, there was like 5 good chapters amongst the 30. I mean, there's 5 great chapters, and there's like 5 to 10 meh ones, and then the other half, because that's more or less, and there's 32 chapters, some shit like that. The other half is just bullshit. It's just like, what the fuck? I feel like I'm reading filler. I feel like I'm reading Garfield comics.
There's a lot of bad or at least forgettable chapters in here, but I think there's a lot of great stuff. I think it's like even the bad ones are still like, oh, it was kind of fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, like his art is great. It's really great to look at, whether you like the story or not.
I used to love reading comics in the Sunday newspaper. Yeah, I'm kind of that old. But
yes, like, man, we know you're old enough to commit any crime with impunity in Japan.
Fuck yeah. But I used to love reading comics like that. Part of me feels like I might have a different viewpoint if I read this over the course of 5 years. You know what I mean? Once a month.
I mean, probably 8.5 months, given by the fact that I think chapter 30 says it's 15 pages a week.
No, this is a monthly, I think.
Oh, this is a monthly? Okay.
Yeah. Which also makes it bullshit, by the way, because if he had a month to write 15 pages, I hope he had other work, because there's no excuse for some of these things to be that shitty.
I mean, he may have. He seems like he's a somewhat busy artist. Like he seems like he publishes a lot, but I'm not entirely sure what his schedule's like.
He used to go to Sac Anime all the time. That's my only knowledge of him. I remember for like about 3 years, because Sac Anime has like 4 shows. I'm not making that up. They have like a winter, summer, and they have like a branded like comic show that's not called Sac Anime, called something else. I think it's called like Sac Comic Con or some bullshit. And there was like 2 or 3 years where he went to all 4. I'm not sure if he lived here or not for a while, but he would go to all 4 of them like for about 2 or 3 years. And that's when we caught him one of the times, obviously. But anyway, going to cons, I guess that
at the time of recording, about a week ago, Fantagraphics, same publisher as this, just put out a new collection of his, Brain Damage. So go check that out, maybe. Oh, hold on a second. I'm reading the description for Brain Damage right now. Apparently, Dementia 21 was his English debut.
Okay, and I didn't realize this volume actually tells you when this came out. So, Dementia 21 originally appeared in the online manga magazine Comic Club from 2010 to 2013. Why the fuck was that so hard for me to find online? It's just right here. So yeah,
I could have sworn there were others of his that had already been like given the special English reprint omnibus treatment, but I guess not.
Yeah, and like I said, this all sounds timely to when I ran into him, which probably why he was doing the circuit. If this was his English language debut, that was 2017. I told you that was the first year where he was all over all the Sax things, and he was still there right up until like 2019-ish. Obviously, the pandemic probably changed a lot of that. But yeah, Interesting. But yeah, and it's like Kago appears to be something of a man of mystery. His interviews are few and far between and usually laconic. Now, I agree with the laconic thing because like that fucker barely says any words, but I still love the few and far between. We interviewed him. Maybe I always feel like there's some certain things where it's all like when I watched this. There was this YouTuber I remember watching, and it's like, oh, well, they were talking about something from Anime Expo 1, and about like, oh, I guess the only way we'll ever find out is to go ask the people who ran it. And I'm like, those people are easy to find. I know them. Just go ask them. Anyway, so maybe nobody asked Shintaro Kago for an interview all these years.
I just want to say one more thing about Brain Damage, his new one. It's 4 stories, a collection of 4 like short manga. I thought it was a collection of shorter ones like this, but no, it's just 4 stories. One of them, Curse Room, a plucky health aide is tasked with keeping zombies peaceful, lest they go on a brain-eating rampage.
Is that the same one? Is that is he ripping himself off? Is he ripping himself off in one shot?
Maybe he was testing out the idea, Manuel. Some people do that in one shots.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway.
you know what? We brought up JG Ballard already. That guy loved to revisit an idea.
I don't know, man. This dude seems kind of obsessed with health aids and diapers. Maybe you guys already know what
that's only one
I'm
of the
not going to
stories in
say.
Brain Damage.
I know, but I'm just saying. Maybe you. But yeah, I wonder about this guy. But once
maybe
again,
he had one that he thought would be better.
You know, Manuel, for someone who won't read things much into a story, you will read a lot into what it says about its author.
Because when you put something in there that's like, if you put something in there that's so weirdly known to be a fetishy type thing, and it's in there so repeatedly, it kind of becomes like, is this a joke to you anymore? Maybe the first time you put it in. I'll be real, like the times when, like, for those who don't know, like all the times I mentioned all
Weird.
the furry stuff,
Yep.
like in the
I'm not going to do it, man.
No.
Go ahead.
Well, I already did it. So the times when I would mention all the furry jokes in the first few years of UPZs and like A to J stuff, and then suddenly I'm like, man, I kind of like this furry. And it just became like not a joke anymore.
Yeah. No, man,
So
I edited that short. I remember.
So yeah, so my same thing is like I just feel like you can't keep making these references for years and just like it's a joke. I don't know.
Well, maybe he doesn't need for it to be a joke. I like
he likes diapers. He wants to be taken care of like an old person. There, I said it. Those are my and Shintaro Kago. If you think otherwise, do an interview and say otherwise because you told us that we have to infer. You know, we have to infer things. So I'm doing it for you. But yeah, I don't know, man. The series had its moment. Like I said, if this was a single volume, by single volume I mean like a short 100 to 200 page volume manga, and you only had the 5 or 6 really great chapters in there, it would be amazing. Other than that,
I think you could pick out pieces of both of these omnibus volumes and make one good omnibus.
put the thieving one's my only one in this whole thing I really liked, and then maybe keep the firing one just to wrap it up, or rewrite it because this one was kind of shit. But yeah, keep the firing idea, but like just keep those 2, in my opinion. Those only 2 in this second volume was a chore. Was a fucking chore. I read them separately, like I said earlier, and there was like about 2 weeks between the readings, and I had to like force myself to finish the second one. I'm glad this is done. JD, your final. Oh, by the way, my final thought is don't skip this one.
Manuel,
Don't
we got your final thoughts. You said it was the worst thing you've read for the show.
Skip it. Skip it.
Yes.
I think it was fine.
Yeah.
I don't think I would go back and read it again necessarily, but I don't regret having read it.
Yeah, my thoughts basically align with B this time. I've enjoyed most of it, so I might not read it again, but I was like, pretty good.
Oh, there's some cool stuff to keep going back to, some cool thoughts. He has good ideas here. Sometimes they're a little bit sloppily I can't think of the word I was going to say, sloppily executed.
Yeah.
But like it's a fun, like I like that he's taking wide swings and not seeming to be bothered if they miss or not. And sometimes they hit and they're great.
Yeah. I like the kind of gag format. I think it doesn't wear off as much for me as it did for you. And so I was kind of fine with it for all these 34 chapters. But I can totally understand why someone would not like this, why it would grate on them pretty quickly.
and I want to point out, because I don't think I said this at all, is that I went into this thinking I would like it. So I didn't go into this at all negative. I'll be honest with you. There's a few of the mangas that we've read where I'm like, oh god, this is gonna be bad. But no, this was not one of them. I went to this one almost excited. I actually did. I think I said I was excited to read it last episode. I went to this one thinking like, oh man, I finally get to read Shintaro. I got an excuse to read a Shintaro Kago manga. This will be great. Fucking hell yeah. And then even as it was getting bad, I was like, oh, this is gonna get better, right? Like I wanted to like it. I was trying to like it. And that's what upsets me the most. It's like I did not go into this with any ounce of negativity. There was none. And this just like turned me so fast, and it just like, and not because of the subject matter per se. Like, yeah, I'm making fun of the diaper thing, but it's like I don't care about these kind of things. It's just like it's just so badly written. It's like, in my opinion, if this is any example of Kago's manga writing skills, he is a crap writer, but an amazing.
Allegedly,
artist.
it's not. Allegedly, this is considered one of his lesser works.
So that could very well be the case, but
none of his other works have been officially translated yet, or barely any.
Or get the Kindle Unlimited app and just read it for free next year. But yeah. Anyway.
Anything else to say about this one? No.
So
next,
it's your choice, Manuel.
It was?
Yes.
Wait. What?
Yes,
Hold on a second.
I thought it was
because my notes, it says Jade next.
Yeah.
I thought it was yours.
I even got upset because I wanted this to be mine, but you said that you already had one too.
Well, whichever, it sounds like you both have one in mind, so whichever one you says it first.
You're right. It is my pick. My pick on the schedule. Manuel, do you have one you want to take my month?
Shit, I'm trying to go over my list now. Hold on.
If not, I remember I have a series that I can pick.
Yeah, right now the schedule has JD, then Manuel, then Etober.
Okay, so sorry, Manuel, I was wrong. It is my pick. So I'm deciding to go back to another short runner in Shonen Jump. We're gonna read Earthchild.
Earthchild?
Yes.
Is that a sequel to Moonchild?
No, it is a science fiction kind of, I don't want to say superhero-ish, but like science fiction family romance thing. It's very hard to describe, but I think once you get into it, you will kind of understand it.
By Hideo Shinkai. I've never heard of this guy.
I think it might have been his first series, but it was one I really liked that only ran for maybe 10 chapters, maybe 20. Another victim like Tenmaku Cinema. So I just want to see if we can spread word of smaller series like this.
Well, Tenmaku Cinema got an official release as soon as we did our episode. I think we read like a fan translation.
No.
So, yeah.
Oh, I read the official Shonen Jump translation in the Shonen Jump app.
But yeah, I guess we're doing that.
So that's going to be it for this month for Reading the Wrong Way. This show is brought to you by our patrons on Patreon, patreon.com/AJConnection. Shout out to our patron, Ed. Every dollar helps us bring you content like this and keep our website ad-free. Thank you again for listening. For AJ Connections, I'm JD.
I'm Manuel.
And I'm B.
And we'll see you next chapter.